It's twilight time in Dallas, Texas, and a beautiful night it is. A beautiful night for football. And we are live from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, just outside of Dallas. ABC's NFL Sunday Night Special, the Los Angeles Rams against the Dallas Cowboys. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Datsun, who invites you to see all the exciting new 1982 Datsun cars and trucks at your Datsun dealer today. And by Lowenbrau, when you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau. A sellout crowd at Texas Stadium, 65,000 plus. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, along with Fran Tarkenton and Don Meredith. Our customary colleague, Howard Cosell, not with us tonight. He, of course, preparing for the World Series, which will begin in New York on Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The New York Yankees against either the Los Angeles Dodgers or Montreal. Let's take a look at the significance of tonight's game. Those are the NFC Eastern Division standings. Philadelphia losing their first win today to Minnesota, 35-23. So Dallas, with a win tonight, even though they had played poorly, could move to within one game of Philadelphia in the Western Division of the NFC. The 49ers, winners again today over Green Bay. And make no mistake, the 49ers are for real. The Los Angeles Rams could stay abreast of them with a win tonight over Dallas. Don Meredith, who played for so many years, the tough years with the Dallas Cowboys, is on the sideline right now with the Cowboy head coach, Tom Landry.
All right, Coach, is there. I remember a long time ago, both of us were being asked this question quite a bit, and now you get to answer it kind of by yourself. Of course, the situation is somewhat different. It's not that bad. Hey, they say, Coach, Don, what's wrong with the Cowboys? You've had a couple of, actually 3 not too good weeks. What do you think?
Well, Don, you and I have been in a couple of those games together.
That's right.
And you know how it is. It's tough. We haven't been playing well, and we got to play well tonight.
Is there any specific thing that you think has really gone wrong? Defense,
not really.
Secondary?
I mean, the game is very unusual today, as you see the scores around the league, and it's hard sometimes to get them ready at certain times, and we were very flat last week, but hopefully we're better tonight.
I hope you have a good night, too. Thanks a lot, Coach. Frank?
Thank you, Don. The reference, of course, is the fact that the Cowboys have lost their last 2 games. They lost to St. Louis, and then they were wiped away by the 49ers. Pat Haden injured last week against Atlanta. You thought it was severe at the time. However, we are told he will start tonight. So it'll be Pat Haden at quarterback. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Rams have won the toss, and they will be receiving to your right. Raphael Septien will kick it off. Drew Hill is deep for Los Angeles. A dangerous return man, Drew Hill, who will also be doubling in brass tonight because he will be opening as a wide receiver. We'll tell you about those injuries when we set the lineup. And here comes Drew Hill from the 5-yard line. In behind the wedge, and Drew Hill out over the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Los Angeles, close to the 27 or 22-yard return. And let's take a look at the offensive unit of the Los Angeles Rams. And the key point here, Fran, those outside receivers, our backup men. Drew Hill replacing Billy Waddy. Willie Miller behind Preston Denard. Both starting receivers out with hamstrings.
Yeah, but these other 2 receivers have played almost as much as Denard and Waddy, and I don't think it'll be too much of an adjustment for Haden.
Pat Haden up to the line of scrimmage. Willie Miller split to the left. He wears number 82. Drew Hill wears number 87. Childs in motion, and Haden on 1st and 10. Back. Man is open as Childs to the 45-yard line. It'll be a 1st down Rams. And as so many teams we have seen, Fran, they like to throw the ball against Dallas on 1st down.
Dallas's pass defense has never been their strong point in all their great years. And this year, it's really been an albatross around their neck. And they start right off the bat throwing the ball. That's what you've got to do to beat the Cowboys, is throw on 1st down. The world knows it.
Interestingly enough, after 6 games, the Dallas Cowboys last in the NFC Conference in pass defense, but they lead the NFL in interceptions with 14. Rams looking over 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Haden back once again. Scrambling and looking. Willie Miller. A flag is down as Willie Miller was dueling for the football downfield. Michael Downs was back there with him, but again, flags are down, and the flags are down far downfield. There's Michael Downs, who is the rookie free safety now for the Dallas Cowboys. The indication is that it will work against the Los Angeles Rams.
And Michael Downs really had a chance to make the interception, as you saw, Giff.
Our referee tonight is Gene Barth. He will be talking to us.
It's a big one.
Number 87, pass interference, offense, first down.
We'll get Gene Barth turned around. You got the call, however. Pass, offensive pass interference.
Drew Hill must have been pushing off.
So it'll be first and 10. The ball at the 35-yard line. The Rams lost their first 2 games of the season, then they won the last 4. They are on a high roll. Cowboys lost 4, and then they won 4, and then they lost 2. Screen pass. Cullen Bryant gets away from Randy White, stays on his feet, gets back to the 40-yard line. It'll be second down and 15. Cullen Bryant, who has meant so much to these Rams over the past few years, really a steady, reliable influence in a team that has at times bordered on brilliance and at times on chaos. The defensive front 4, and you'll see mostly the 4-3 from the Cowboys. All 3 of their linebackers come out on anticipated pass, and they bring in Benny Barnes, Anthony Dickinson, and Steve Wilson. Anthony Dickinson, a fine second-year linebacker who can roam all over the field. Second and 15. Haden to the air again. Haden. Harvey Martin, who was questionable tonight with a deep bruise of a thigh muscle, with the sack inside the 30-yard line. It'll be third and a bunch. Let's watch it again.
And that does help your pass defense when you get this kind of pressure. And all this counts as a sack. It doesn't count as an incompletion or something you pass percentages. But here's getting flushed out right there by Randy White. And here comes Harvey Martin to put him down.
Third down and 26. There was a loss of 11.
It's a time when you want your coach to call one from the sideline. I don't have any good calls for third and 26, Giff.
An additional wide receiver, 86, Jeff Moore, in for the Rams. Haden hangs it high, intended for Drew Hill, and Michael Downs was over there, and Everson Walls, the 2 rookies covering Hill, and the Rams will punt. Just underway in Texas Stadium. Frank Corral, who also doubles as the field goal kicker, and what a year he's having, comes on for the Los Angeles Rams.
Giff, you get the feeling as you watch this, the Cowboys were embarrassed last week, and they are a proud organization, a proud football team, and they gave us an indication of how they're going to play right there. They're going to play very tough.
Flag is down. You saw Ron Fellows deep for Dallas, and he takes the ball at his 25-yard line. Keep in mind, a flag is down as Fellows is down at the 30-yard line. 46-yard punt. Gene Barth will confer with his staff, and the indication is illegally in motion with the Los Angeles Rams. It was a fine punt, and we will see if they want to try it again.
Interesting decision here, Dandy.
Well, let me tell you, how's it been going, Group?
I've been going really good, Dandy.
I used to could get up here a lot quicker. You know what I mean? One of those things, a long way down there.
I thought you might have fallen into the Cowboys' sensory isolation tank.
Well, no, couldn't get Seppi in
Illegal
out there.
motion, 22 on a kicking team, penalty refused, first down.
Penalty refused. It was a fine kick, as getting down a little early was Penaranda of the Los Angeles Rams. So the Dallas Cowboys will have their first possession of the night. A win tonight, and they will be one behind Philadelphia. Tony Dorsett, Mr. Electricity for the Dallas Cowboys. They turned it off in San Francisco last week. 21 yards for Tony Dorsett in 9 attempts. On the year, however, he's over 600 yards. Cowboys first and 10. The ball just over their own 30-yard line. Dorsett, single setback, and Tony Hill opens it wide receiver, number 80 for the Cowboys tonight. A lot of controversy surrounding Tony Hill and Butch Johnson thus far in the young season for Dallas. White on first and 10. Into a crowd over the middle, intended for Tony Hill. Youngblood was there, and Eckern were also there.
I don't think he saw Carl Eckern. That was the guy that almost caught it. He was with Hill all the way across. Carl almost stepped in front of him.
Tony Hill was hurt the first week of training camp. There he is. He wears number 80. Exceptional receiver with 60 receptions in each of the past 2 seasons. And Butch Johnson took over. Butch has played well. Tom Landry has a theory. You don't lose a starting position if you're injured. Tony Hill, obviously ready to play. Played a little bit in San Francisco last week. He is a starter tonight. Second down and 10. Dorsett upended and sprawling behind the line of scrimmage. Submarining there was Cody Jones, the defensive right end, who has replaced a long-time regular for the Rams over in the right side. That, of course, would be Fred Dreyer, and there was a lot of controversy surrounding that one. And there, your defensive secondary coming up with your linebackers. Of course, Jack Reynolds has gone at middle linebacker, and surprisingly, Pat Thomas, number 27, is starting at the left cornerback tonight. We were told that he might not be able to play because of a pulled hamstring, but number 27 is in there. Third down and 12. Out of the shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Wide open field for Danny White. He has the first down. And Danny White is over his 45-yard line. First down, Dallas, upended by Johnny Johnson, but a pickup of 17 yards by Danny White, who is really an exceptional athlete.
Well, you know, you look here, he's trying to set up a screen to the left of Dorsett. He didn't like what he saw. He's going to run for it, but normally a quarterback would go down in this situation. This shows the intensity that the Cowboys are playing with tonight. Danny White breaks the tackle and makes a pretty good run, Dandy.
Yes, he did. As old Johnny Johnson that got him. It was good defensive read to pick up that screen because they didn't have that at all.
Nope.
Looked out there, and Tony Dorsett has a way of drawing a crowd. They were right out there with it.
Ball just over the 45-yard line. Dallas's first possession, in case you just joined us. Tony Dorsett again. Single setback, quick toss to Dorsett. Dorsett cuts back against the grain. Got a block from Pat Donovan, but there is a gain of maybe one. We will call it second down and 9. Carl Eckern on the stop, and a reminder again, World Series hopefully will be coming your way on Tuesday night. The Yankees against Montreal or San Diego. That game, by the way, rained out. Or rather, Los Angeles. That game between Montreal and San Diego rained out this afternoon.
Wait a minute. Let's get it going here.
Let me Los Angeles.
I'm the Ram fan.
Well, you're within 100 miles.
There we
go.
Rained out today, so it'll be Los Angeles and Montreal, 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Second down and 9. Dorsett.
Oh, good.
That's what I mean about excitement. Dorsett, first down, 35-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams, a gain of 18.
And you don't draw that one up on the board. He just did that with superior ability, great speed. They had to play defense pretty well. Tell him about it, Dandy.
Well, let's just look at the move he puts on old Joe Harris here. You're right, Fran. He comes in the middle. They got Fanning stood up there in the front. Here's Joe. Joe just says, I don't think I didn't bring enough to the dance. I can't catch you that time. He moved
Joe
on the
is
outside.
quick, Dandy.
He sure is. He broke Nolan Cromwell, who's also a good tackler out there.
The man that made the stop was the questionable man, Pat Thomas. Dallas at the 35-yard line of the Rams. White going deep. Pearson is back there, and Pat Thomas is right with him. A little bump.
I think
hardly detectable by the officials.
But that's a guy that's been running routes for a long time. He knows when he can't get it, there's a little bump with that elbow, and he goes down.
Let's watch it here. He was covered all the way. You're right, Dandy. He had no shot for the ball. He's going to try to draw an interference call. That's a pretty good move.
It's a little push. Move. Wasn't much. Really was his same motion. He didn't have an unusual motion about that at all.
Ever so subtle.
Interesting thing, Gifford, about tonight. Both of these teams play the 4-man line almost exclusively, and that's not the trend in the National Football League today. Most of them play 3-man line now.
I won't say it's becoming an antique, but it's becoming very rare. Second and 10 from the shotgun. Inside handoff. Big opening for Dorsett, and Dorsett first down, 20-yard line of Los Angeles, behind the block of what really is a makeshift line. Tom Rafferty has moved from guard to center. Kurt Peterson is in the lineup. Robert Shaw, who was a backup to John Fitzgerald, out of the lineup with a knee surgery this past week, and John Fitzgerald, of course, has been missing since training camp.
What is vulnerable in that 4-man line in an obvious pass situation, even from the shotgun, is they take a wide rush. You can trap up the middle like they did, and you have a man as quick as Dorsett. It hits pretty good.
Leroy Urban has come in defensively now for the Rams, number 47. Pat Thomas has stepped out. On the first down, single setback, Dorsett. He gets the quick toss. Cooper gets a block in front.
Oh,
and Dorsett turns on the afterburner. And Dorsett down close to the 6-yard line. He'll have another first down. It'll be first and goal for the Cowboys.
That's one of those situations look like to me. And from the inside, if you're a defensive player, you say, boy, I've really got this thing settled. Look at number 55, Carl Eckert. He's coming. I've got a pretty good angle. And there again, he just didn't have that good angle. I think people don't realize, or I shouldn't say that. Of course, they realize how fast he is. They just misjudged at that time. He scooted around.
Cowboys on their very first possession, with 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter, have moved to a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. This will be the 9th play of the drive, which started at their own 31. Play action with the 3 tight ends. Big scramble in the corner of the end zone. It was Doug Cosby back there dueling with Rod Perry.
And there's a flag, Giff. They're going to call it on Rod Perry, I think.
All over the end zone.
I think they're called face guarding. Does that sound right?
I think it sounds good. Didn't I hear you say, as a matter of fact, Fran, that if they have one hand up, it's not face guarding. If they got 2, it is?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
Defensive pass interference on number 49.
But did you know that if you had it, it'd have been right?
Well, I didn't say it.
1st down, goal to go. We'll look again.
Well, let's see if he puts one hand up or 2 hand, Dandy. There goes Cosby. Perry's trailing him.
Yeah, he really had him
But
beat.
he's in the hunt. He's got 1 hand up.
He got all of it up there, didn't he? There's interference several different ways.
Defensively for the Rams, big Phil Murphy, number 95 in there. The goal line defense. He's in the middle at 300 pounds. Saudi in motion. Springs, touchdown Dallas, no flags. 8:50 remaining in the first quarter.
Made that one look pretty easy.
Dandy, when they look good, they look real good.
They really do. And I think that's can be said when they look bad, they look really bad.
I'm sure the people down here in Dallas that saw him last week don't recognize this team tonight. That's a good-looking drive.
Well, it's early.
We mentioned they were blown away by the 49ers a week ago. In every department, I might add. Raphael, Septien, Rafferty will do the snapping on the kicks tonight. The holder, Charlie Waters, number 41. Movement along the line. And the week prior to last week's defeat by the 49ers, the Cowboys fell to St. Louis.
72-71 offense.
Offensive false start on the left side. Ed Jones, the defensive end, is in there also as a blocker on field goals and conversions.
Too Tall said, I'm not used to being a blocker. Listen to that snap count.
You got Dutton in there, too. Of course, the reason, I assume, is those 2 big guys, tall, fire out, they're strong, too.
They take up a lot of room. They widen that arc out.
Septien, once again, still remains a very short chip shot. And the Cowboys are on top 7-0. Cowboys moving 69 yards on 9 plays, holding the ball for 3.5 minutes. We'll be right back. Raphael Septien to kick off. Drew Hill from the 2-yard line. Wedge forming over to the left side of Hill. And Hill is hit at the 17, driven back to the 16 by Timmy Newsome. The Rams will have their 2nd possession.
Well, Dandy, while you were trying to get up here, the Rams threw the ball every 1st down, or 3 out of 4 downs they had it. One of them was a penalty. And the book, as everybody knows on Dallas, is to try to throw the ball on 1st down. But I wonder if they'll do it here, back inside their 20.
Well, let's just take a look and find out.
Ball is marked at the 19-yard line. Jeff Moore stays in, wide receiver, number 86. The other wide receiver, 82, is Willie Miller. Wendell Tyler over the right side, and the flag is down. Ray Malvese, now in his 4th year, took over early in the season, 78.
You know, Ray did say something that, well, at least he was quoted in the paper that you don't hear a lot of the head coaches saying. He was talking about, you know, said Dallas is always good. We always get excited. We like to play them. And they've played the flex defense forever. Here we go.
False start offense. The right end beat the snap. Still 1st down.
Those are officials and what they do. as well as take your abuse.
Wait a minute. I got one. I'm going to finish this real quick.
I wanna hear it.
What it was, he says he didn't think they were running the flex as well this year as he had seen them in the past, which is that defense you're talking about on the first down.
Right, yeah.
God, it took me a long time to say that.
First down 15 following the penalty. Here comes Wendell Tyler. Looks like the same play they called a moment ago. And Tyler turns on the speed. A nifty run to the right side as Bob Brunig takes Tyler out of bounds. Up around the 34-yard line. That will be good enough for a first down on a 20-yard pickup by Wendell Tyler.
Well, we talked about Dorsett's quickness. Wendell Tyler looked about as quick as Dorsett to me on that play. He just blew by him.
He runs every play like it's the last one. They take him out, give him a breather once in a while, and bring in Mike Gooman, but he really puts everything into every play. He's over 400 yards on the young season.
The players tease Wendell. They say every play with Wendell running is an option play.
On 1st and 10. Cullen Bryant, left side. Cullen Bryant for a couple. And we noticed a moment ago that Henry Childs, the tight end for the Rams, had limped off the field. Number 84, Walt Arnold, second-year man out of New Mexico, is in there now. They'll try and get a line on what has happened to Childs, but he is being treated now on the Rams bench. They are working on his right ankle.
Here's a situation you don't want to be in against the Cowboys. They can turn those big 4 guys loose on you now, and they're good pass rushers.
Second down and 8. The Rams from their own 37. Haden has a man open. Jeff Moore throws it high.
Well, Pat Haden was tall enough then, Dandy, but his receiver wasn't.
Well, yeah, that's true.
There is Jeff Moore. He's a second-year man out of Tennessee.
That's pretty good, Francis. I like that. He had old Everson Walls backed up pretty well.
There is Henry Childs. As Walt Arnold comes out of the lineup, and we get the 3 wide receivers for the Rams: Jeff Moore, Drew Hill, and Willie Miller. 3rd and 8. Cowboys showing blitz.
That they are.
And they come with it. Haden reads it and rolls out.
Oh, what an
Great
interception.
Diving interception. This Everson Walls. Oh.
Was that a beautiful
Now has
interception?
5 interceptions, but hold it. A flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Holding, it'll be against the Rams. The Cowboys will have the football.
Hey, that was a super interception that time. That guy made a great move right to the last, jumped in front. Everson Walls, one of the rookies down here.
He's quite a story. He led the nation a year ago with interceptions at Grambling and wasn't even drafted.
Holding offense, penalty refused. First down.
Thing about they did blitz. Haden. Let's watch it. Right, watch here. He's got the man-on-man all over the field. He has no protection deep or inside. Watch the anticipation of number 24 Walls. Good quickness to come back. The ball was thrown all right. Wasn't a bad throw. Great defensive play.
Just quickness on the part of the rookie from Grambling, Everson Walls, who now has 5 interceptions thus far in the year. We'll be back in Texas in a moment. Landry in his 22nd year, over 200 victories, 3rd all-time winningest coach this game has ever known. Watching as a young rookie, Everson Walls has given the Cowboys possession of the football. Ball just inside their own 48-yard line. They lead 7-0. Danny White quickly going out to Ron Springs. And Springs carries Rod Perry into Ram territory near the 48-yard line. A lot of action around the NFL, of course, on Sunday. Let's take a look at some of the action. There is the first loss for Philadelphia and sets up the possibility that the Dallas Cowboys can move to within 1 in the NFC Eastern Division. And, well, we told you, San Francisco, they are for real. They beat the Cowboys 45-14 a year ago. They continue their winning ways today over Green Bay. And the Jets with a couple in a row now. Springs got 5. It's 2nd down and 5. They marked it at the Rams 47. Tony Dorsett. Ever so quick inside the 45-yard line, short of a first down by a couple. Tackled by Nolan Cromwell. It'll be 3rd down and 2. And let's look at some more action. New England taking Houston 38-10. And the Giants have a few more bricks in the form of one Rob Carpenter. We understand 6 field goals by Donnell. That's a new Giant record.
That's a surprise there, too.
Cincinnati, talking about who's for real, I guess Cincinnati's for real. Ask Pittsburgh.
And in the shotgun on a 3rd down and 2 go the Dallas Cowboys. Danny White. Oh, and he had the first down to Ron Springs, and Springs could not hold on to a pass that had a lot of smoke on it.
Really a good move by Danny White. He moved himself around in the pocket, kept vision of the field. Springs broke open. He hit him. Springs couldn't catch it.
And it brings up a very uneasy situation for the Dallas Cowboys as Leroy Irvin, who ran 2 punts back against Atlanta last week, 1 of 75 and 1 of 84, has dropped deep. Earlier in the year, we watched him against the Bears go 55 yards for a touchdown, and here he is. Broke an NFL record for punt return yardage, 207 last week. Danny White will try and put it in the corner.
He's gonna.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful play made by Benny Barnes, who raced under that high punt by Danny White, who doesn't kick the ball far. He kicks it incredibly high. Benny Barnes was under the ball, and the Rams will start within their own 5-yard line. Only a 39-yard punt, but it was perfect. 2 lanes leading to Mount Vernon. Dandy says they both lead to Mount Vernon, not out of Mount Vernon.
Oh, no. You're going to hear more about that around halftime.
Rams inside their own 5-yard line. 1st down and 10. They're down 7-0 with 6:45 remaining in the 1st quarter. Wendell Tyler left side, and he's stacked up at the 5. Drill back to the 4. Harvey Martin leading the charge for the Cowboys.
Played that really well, Harvey did. He was at Irv Pankey out there blocking him. Stood Pankey up, went down the line of scrimmage with the flow. Right at the last minute, fell off, made a good tackle.
All right, Henry Childs, who we saw on the sideline a while ago, has got a strained foot, and they say he may not return, which means that he may return, but most likely he won't return then.
That means the Rams are really hurting in their offensive receiver corps. Willie Waddy, Preston Denard, and now Henry Childs. Those are the starters. 2nd and 10. Haden fires to Willie Miller, and Willie Miller has a 1st down out at the 17-yard line.
Pretty gutsy throw by Pat Haden to go back in your end zone and be willing to throw the sideline ball from there. He needed to do it. He got a 1st down.
Willie Miller coming into tonight, only 3 receptions. Last year he had 22, but interesting statistic. Of those 22 receptions for Willie Miller last year, 8 of them were for touchdowns.
Touchdown Willie, they call it.
Big play man. He's in there, of course, for Preston Denard. That's Walt Arnold in motion. Cullen Bryant tries the middle, out over the 20, close to the 21-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Atlanta over St. Louis, 41-20.
They came back to do that. St. Louis was out in front for a while.
And Kansas City, like the 49ers, definitely for real. You mentioned the Jets hadn't lost in 3 games. Actually, they haven't lost in 4.
Look at there. Oakland scored, Giff.
1.
Yeah, they scored some points, mostly field goals.
2nd down, 7. Wendell Tyler. Big hole for Tyler, and he's out close to another Ram 1st down near the 28-yard line.
Tyler's found a place he likes to run over there. As you see, Miami getting by Washington 13-10.
Strong offensive line of the Rams. They led the NFL in rushing, of course, a year ago. Jackie Slater, Dennis Harrow, Rich Saul at center. Doug Smith started tonight at left guard for Kent Hill, and Irv Pankey at left tackle. 4:13 remaining in the 1st quarter. The Rams started at their own 4-yard line. They've moved to their 28. Haden on target again to Wendell Tyler. He does not hold on.
Dandy, I'm watching the defense down there. The Cowboys are doing something they don't normally do. They're running a zone. Sometimes they're zoning both sides of the field, and Haden did the right thing. He went to the back. If they go to zone both outside receivers, he ought to throw to the back, so to the tight end. He lost Henry Childs, but he's got another pretty good one in Walt Arnold.
Well, you're right. They usually don't like to do that. They've been basically a man-to-man situation. The last score, San Diego whipped up on Baltimore pretty well.
2nd down and 10. Matt Haden had 1 interception tonight. By the way, that was his 1st interception since the 2nd game of the season. Going deep. Drew Hill is down there. There's a battle for the football, and somebody came out of both shoes. I've seen him come out of one, but not both of them.
Michael Downs lost them both.
And he was back there with the other rookie, Everson Walls, defending against Drew Hill.
Really, old Pat let Drew get a little too far down the field. He didn't have quite enough arm to get to him. He had him down about 60, 65 yards.
Now, that's what you call...
That's teamwork.
That's teamwork right there. That is it.
Here's Haden.
He got hit pretty well there. Damn, Randy White.
As you say, it's underthrown a little bit. Walls had a chance to make the play.
You know, I think that the Rams stepped on one foot and the Cowboys stepped on the other. At the same time, lost both shoes.
3rd down and 10. The Cowboys got their shoes back together, avoided the timeout. Hayden up on top. Oh, my goodness. This one will be picked off again. Dennis Thurman comes up with his 4th interception of the year. The Cowboys, who came into tonight's game with 14 leading the league, now have 16. And good field position.
That was not a good throw. He had a pretty good route developing out there. Threw that one a little bit short and behind him.
Well, you know, he has 2 options. He had the back in front of where he threw the ball that was open. And you'll see him coming out 32, Cullen Bryant, and he threw to the end trying to break outside, and he underthrew him.
Yeah, there was an opening out there on the outside.
Yeah,
he could have got that out in front.
1st down and 10, Dallas. 38-yard line of the Rams. The Cowboys leading 7-0. 3:50 remaining in the first quarter. Tony Dorsett, single setback. Drew Pearson in motion. Billy Joe Dupree. 1st down, Dallas inside the 25. Johnny Johnson hitting Billy Joe Dupree, who holds on.
Don't you like to see a receiver hold the ball like that, Francis?
I really do, because he really, I do not understand how he can hold it like that, because he was really hit.
I've never understood. Johnny Johnson is a guy that really is not in that bad a defensive position.
Good defensive position, and he really hits him right at the time he caught the ball. If he'd been up a little higher, it would have made it a tougher catch for Dupree.
Billy Joe's 8th reception of the year gives Dallas another 1st down. 23-yard line of the Rams. Tony Dorsett hit at the 20 and drilled back by Mike Fanning, number 79. Gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Mike Fanning was in there, and I tell you, Carl Eckert did a good job. Jim Youngblood, they filled the hole real well that time.
The Rams are not laying down on defense. I mean, they're putting their helmets on them and hitting awfully hard. But they're having to give up a lot of good field position. The 2 interceptions have given the Cowboys good field position here.
Pair of tight ends are in. Billy Joe Dupree back in the lineup along with Doug Cosby. Cowboys on another drive. Their very first possession. They went 69 yards. They lead 7-0. 2:31 remaining in the first quarter. They are threatening again. Out of the shotgun, 2nd down and 8. Danny White. This time he goes down in the arms of big Larry Brooks. Back at the original line of scrimmage, it'll be 3rd down and 10. Frank Gifford along with Fran Tarkenton, Don Meredith, Howard Cosell, preparing for the World Series, which will begin Tuesday night in New York at 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on ABC. Either San Diego or...
No.
There's something wrong with me tonight on San Diego. I could give you Detroit or Chicago. We'll have them tomorrow night.
Remember
Los Angeles or Montreal will go against the Yankees. Weather permitting, of course. Their game rained out today in Montreal.
Remember the big Dodger in the sky. That'll help you right there.
Now I have it. 3rd and 10. White. Off the fingertips of Butch Johnson. And we will see Raphael Septien, who, like his counterpart Frank Corral of the Rams, is having a tremendous year.
Butch was a little upset that he didn't catch this, but I thought he made a terrific effort. The ball was thrown a little bit wide. You see he had some time to throw out to the outside. Had a 1st down completion. Strung him out just a little too much. Butch has made some catches like that, and I think he was a little upset he didn't hold on to that one, but it would have been a great catch if he had it.
41-yard attempt. Septien has 15 of 16 on the year. He's only missed a 40-yarder. Dead, solid, perfect. And the Cowboys have extended their lead 10-0 over the Los Angeles Rams. 1:45 remaining in the first quarter. And we'll be back at Texas Stadium. Rams have been unable to generate much of an offense thus far on the evening. They have dropped Drew Hill. Septien to kick away. Septien not a deep kicker. But he'll kick it high and let the special team members get down under it, much as does Danny White. Hill settles in and awaits the ball at the 3. Flag is down. Hill is down at the 16-yard line. Anthony Dickerson and hustling down there for Dallas.
And very likely, Giff, they're going to get a penalty back half the distance to the goal line, which might put them around the 8.
Against the Rams.
They're just having a hard time getting it cranked up, those Rams.
It's tough to play offense when you're starting off inside your 5 one time and inside your 10 another time. That's tough quarterback.
Illegal block above the waist from the rear, number 50, during the run back. First down.
But all of that was wrong. And the Rams will have the ball at their own 8-yard line. Malavasi, in the playoffs each of his previous 3 years. Took the Rams to the Super Bowl in '79 where they lost to Pittsburgh. And Randy White just rained all over Wendell Tyler back at the 3-yard line.
They tried a little razzmatazz down there, a little false start one way and come back the other, and Randy didn't go for that at all. You know, he's been known as the strongest player on the Cowboy team as far as lifting weights, and they brought in a #1 draft choice a few years ago, Kurt Peterson. And old Kurt's getting right there pushing Randy. Neither one of them are going to have much trouble picking up the barbell. You know?
He is unbelievably quick, Randy White. You want anything delayed in that backfield, if you don't sustain him, you're going to lose yardage. The Rams lost 4. It's 2nd down and 14.
Would have done it again.
Tyler slips off Randy White, and D.D. Lewis makes sure.
Randy White
loves it.
and Too Tall Jones were both in there that time. He cut into the inside, and D.D. Lewis filled in the middle.
Well, as you look at it here, of course, somebody's down for the Rams there, but as the Rams to get out of that hole are going to have to throw, but everything is going so badly against them, you don't want to really take any risk or gamble at this time.
Can't run, you can't throw. The next thing you do is punt.
How about a quick kick?
Quick kick.
Irv Pankey is the injured Los Angeles Ram, starting offensive left tackle. Trainers looking at the right knee.
As they work on Pank, you know who the backup left guard and left tackle would be for the Rams? Doug France and Ken Hill. Both of them all worlds.
Take a look at it from the end zone. Watch 54, left side of your screen. Randy White, how quick he is.
Saul tried to block him off, didn't quite get the good enough block. You see him come back in, and there's actually Harvey was in there too. He missed him, and here comes D.D. Lewis, number 50. Going to put the final touches in there.
D.D. Lewis playing in his final season of a career that overlapped yours, Don.
Yep, he's the last one left. He was a fresh-faced rookie last year. He's still out there. Irv Pankey is getting up, walking off. A little help from his friends.
Big Phil Murphy there, number 95, helping Pankey to the sidelines. And we will see Doug France, who has been troubled by a shoulder problem, has had surgery twice on his shoulder, and the most recent surgery apparently left him still bothered. That, of course, in the spring. 3rd down and 12 for the Los Angeles Rams.
Well, we'll see how daring Malavasi is here, whether he'll try to throw from out of there or not.
They are down 10-0. 28 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Haden from the end zone, and we may have a safety. We do. Harvey Martin. Safety. Pat Haden under pressure. Thought he could ease his way out of the end zone. Harvey Martin is ever so quick.
It's a nice welcome to Doug France on his first play. He says, Doug, I'm sorry you've had those shoulder operations, but I haven't got time to fiddle with you. I'm going after Haden, and he made a good quick move on the round side.
Well, here it is here. Here comes Harvey saying, hello, Doug. Beats him to the outside shoulder.
You'll see that Harvey has him right there. That's when the whistle is blown. Well, no, Pat really didn't make it out either. I thought he may have made it out, but the official would blow that whistle back in the end zone. That's safety.
2 points. Cowboys leading 12-0. The ball to be put in play either by a kick without a tee from the surface or by a punt. And the Rams, of course, will go with Frank Corral punting. They will kick from their own 20-yard line. James Jones will drop for the Cowboys.
Harvey had an interesting comment I read in the paper. He said a lot of these young guys that are down here, says when we lost in San Francisco, they realized that it takes a lot more than just throwing your helmet out there and winning. He said maybe that's what we really needed, because a lot of these guys look at the Cowboys as something really special.
Corral hangs it high and long, and Jones has the ball. And Jones out close to the 39-yard line. Good field position again for the Cowboys. Ivory Sully down there deep for the Rams. Capacity crowd of 65,000 for the Cowboys tonight against the Rams. And boy, they have played some interesting games over the years. They've met 16 times. They are 8-8. And 4 times out of 6 times, the team that has lost in the regular season game, as was the case last year, beat the other team in the playoffs. Here's Ron Springs. Over the 40 to the 42-yard line, a gain of a couple. Hit there by Mike Fanning. It'll be 2nd down and 8. And the first quarter is history. And a nice piece of history for the Cowboys. They lead 12-0 over Los Angeles. We'll be right back. Being packed around the knee of Irv Pankey, his right knee. We will get a fuller report, but obviously there is damage to the right knee of Irv Pankey. We begin the second quarter action. Cowboys leading 12-0. The ball at their own 41-yard line, 2nd down and 8. Oddly enough, the Rams had the ball in terms of time of possession longer than the Cowboys in the first quarter. The Rams did not even get into Dallas territory as we watch Ron Springs to the 45-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 3. And let's take a look at the stats from the first quarter. 92 total yards for Dallas.
But the big significant thing is the 2 turnovers on the LA side. Time of possession makes not much difference when you turn the ball over twice in the first quarter.
And of course the safety has given Dallas good field position once again. 3rd down and 3. Harvey Martin zipping around. Doug France to get to Pat Haden. That represents 2 of the Cowboy points. From the shotgun, Danny White. Whistles blow.
You had a delay of the game there.
And 30-second clock has expired, so the Cowboys will be backed up 5.
That's really getting them hot. They've had a few of those down here this year. Of course, I'm sure folks know they've
In the first place, starting a new quarter, you would have think they would have talked it all over. Got in and out of the huddle.
Delay of game, number 11 offense, still 3rd down.
So now it'll be 3rd down and 8 as Butch Johnson comes in with the word from Tom Landry, passes it on to Danny White. And the next play you see will be that of the brain trust of the Dallas Cowboys.
What that penalty did, it just about took away the threat of the run. And the Rams put in their specialist for pass defense.
And of course the Cowboys with the 4 wide receivers. And an excellent man coming out of the backfield in Ron Springs. Pressure under Danny White. Timed it out beautifully to Tony Hill.
What a beautiful throw.
He threw the ball. As Tony Hill was making his break, he had to. He was under tremendous pressure. And it's 1st down Dallas.
Good point, Gifford. He had to throw it early. Watch here. As you watch Danny White isolated, you see the pressure come from the right. He threw it much before Tony Hill made his break. Tony Hill was shocked that the ball was there. Here he goes, running it down and out. Sideline route. Man-on-man coverage because they blitzed. Good reaction by Tony because the ball was right there on him when he looked around.
And the first-year man from Baylor, Fran mentioned, in single coverage, Kirk Collins did not handle Tony Hill. Good combination. Inside the 45-yard line of the Rams. Cowboys on the move again. Tony Dorsett, look out.
Watch out.
Gone.
Tony Hill, 44-yard touchdown run. And nobody in this game today accelerates like Tony Dorsett.
You could just feel it, couldn't you? When he broke through that line, he said that one is gone. Made a good cut to the outside. There's a pretty good block. I think it may have been by Butch Johnson. On that rookie from Baylor you're talking about. Let's see if we just watch it again. This is pretty.
Well, what helps here, the defense, they're double zoning the outside, so there's not really any help in the middle once he gets by the linebackers. Nolan Cromwell's trying to come over from his zone coverage, but he was there a little late.
That's a good block by Rafferty that time on the middle linebacker, which helped him break that initial line of defense.
He ran right through the arms of Jim Youngblood. Septien. For the conversion. And the Cowboys are hitting on all 8 tonight. And Tony Dorsett, with his first attempt here in the second quarter, has 95 yards on the night. Remarkable young man. Only player in the history of the NFL over 1,000 yards in each of his 4 seasons. On his way once again. As a matter of fact, Don, I think you pointed out that he has never played a football season that he hasn't gained 1,000 yards, be it high school, college, and now with the pros.
What a shock it would be to him if it ever went away. Man, that's what you're supposed to do, pick up 1,000.
Septien hits the ball high once again. Drew Hill has to wait and then takes it at his 3. And Drew Hill, a saving tackle made there by Steve Wilson as Drew Hill gets out close to the 29-yard line. Rams are down 19-0.
Maybe the best field position they've had all night, as a matter of fact, and that's still not quite to the 30.
The best before this, Dandy, was on the 26-yard line, but they started on the 26, 19, 4 and 8.
We talked about Tony Dorsett. We're going to see a couple of racehorses tomorrow night. Walter Payton and, of course, Billy Sims with Detroit. Detroit and Chicago will be leaving here right after the game, and we'll be reporting from the Silverdome in Pontiac tomorrow night. The Bears and the Lions. 1st and 10, the Rams. Wendell Tyler. Good move to get to the outside, and a Ram first down out to the 42-yard line before Bob Brunig made the defensive play for Dallas.
I don't know if y'all saw 72 Ken Hill or not, but they put Ken Hill on the bench. They put Doug Smith ahead of him. He's a former Pro Bowler, but he can run like a deer. They'd have given him the ball that time, he'd have scored.
That was a good offensive play, I thought. They sent the man in motion all the way across. I don't think Dallas adjusted their defense that time. They ran Jeff Moore very fast to the other side. You saw the cornerback going with it, and they came back to where that guy had gone from. There's the guy you were talking about. Yeah.
But I'm glad to get back in there.
On first down, Cullen Bryant. Opening left side, and the big man stays on his feet and carries a Dallas Cowboy inside the 40-yard line for another Ram first down. And the Rams have stormed right back. They're down 19-0.
Now, I'll tell you, Giff, that shows you some quality there. They're down 19-0. They've everything has gone against them. They've come back and just taken 2 runs and gone down to the Dallas 40-yard line. That's quality. That shows
Tyler
me
got
something.
16, and now Cullen Bryant picks up 19.
And they're coming off the ball.
Willie Miller split wide to the left. Cullen Bryant this time picked up by Randy White with help from Big John Dutton. After a gain of a couple, it'll be 2nd down and 8. Randy White in that flex defense, he gets turned loose a lot. John Dutton and Ed Jones, they play the run primarily, but Randy White, particularly with a Harvey Martin to his right, can make those real sharp inside moves and outside moves, and we've seen it tonight.
Now, right here, they've run well, Giff, and they got stuffed that time. He's going to have to throw the ball probably here, and he needs a completion to get the Rams going.
Haden is back.
Touchdown.
Deep, and it's Jeff Moore.
Almost.
Jeff Moore inside the 5 as Pat Haden stepped back into the pocket and was right on target. 35-yard pickup, and the Rams have come back.
All right, here goes Pat Haden from the end zone here. This is a very big play for Pat and his teammates. He had to assert himself as being able to make a play for him in this game tonight, and he just did. He threw a strike to Jeff Moore. Haden puts the ball where he has to put it, on his inside, away from the defensive back.
With all the acclaim this youngster has had, Everson Walls, one of the question marks was his speed. He makes some good moves defensively, but that time, Jeff Moore, second-year man from Tennessee, in the game because of injuries to Billy Waddy and Preston Denard, gives the Rams a first down and goal to go. Childs is back in the game for the Rams, number 83. Tyler, Ram touchdown.
Good running.
Good, strong running by the former UCLA great.
Almost got the official with the slam dunk. That's 4 plays, 72 yards, Dandy. That ain't bad.
They did that very quickly, too, didn't they?
Not only that, it was fast.
Wendell let it go.
Here he comes off the left side.
Had a pretty good block on the inside. This didn't cover. Good hole there that time. They opened it up over on the left side. We talked about that really good Irv Pankey's not there. Doug France is. Kent Hill's back in.
And Cullen Bryant leading the way. Here's Frank Corral. Nolan Cromwell puts it down, and the Rams are on the scoreboard. They trail 19-7. We're in the second quarter with 11:08 remaining. And Wendell Tyler, with an extra effort, gives the Rams a touchdown. One of the Cowgirls performing for the capacity crowd here at Texas Stadium, and Don Meredith will take a walk down memory lane as he investigates the growth of cheerleading in football and relive some of the moments that he recalls from his days at Mount Vernon.
Oh, yes.
As it pertained to the pep squads. That'll be at halftime.
You have pep squads in Mount Vernon?
Oh, yeah, good ones. Real good ones.
You know, I'm sure many people watching this game tonight, when Dallas jumped off 19-0, said this is a typical another LA-Dallas game. One or the other blows the other one out. But the Rams were impressive. They came back, no matter what everybody else was saying, and stuffed it. 72 yards in 4 plays, and they're back in this game.
Corral to bang it for the Rams. High and short. Taken by Ron Fellows. And a flag is down as Fellows out close to the 30-yard line. Kirk Collins defensively there.
Most likely against the Cowboys.
We mentioned those blowouts as we watched the penalty being assessed. It'll be working against Dallas. Last year, they met twice in the regular season. It was 38-14 LA, the 15th week of the season. 2 weeks later, Dallas won right here, 34-13. In that kind of series.
And then in your first Sunday night game a year ago, Dallas won pretty handily in that game, as I recall.
Illegal block, number 53, in the back, above the waist. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Bruning doing everything wrong you could do.
Far and away the worst field position the Cowboys have had to start a drive off, Dandy.
Could make this interesting. Now they got to put a little something together themselves.
Yeah, see what they got.
11 minutes remaining in the first half. Dallas 19, Los Angeles 7. On 1st and 10, Ron Springs. And Springs struggles out to the 20-yard line in the arms of Johnny Johnson. Gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Ron Springs has been a great help to Tony Dorsett this year. He's picked up blocking ability they did not have a year ago. Earned that fullback spot just outright. And also a very fine receiver. He comes out of the lineup now, and Jay Saudi comes in.
2 tight ends, 2 wideouts, and Tony D.
Anyway, short drop. Tries to get the ball to Pearson for the first down. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 5. And there's Dan Pastorini. Been under contract now with the Rams for 3 weeks. Flag is down on the field, and we'll have an illegal receiver downfield. As you look at, of course, cut by Oakland, shopped his wares around, and finally signed with the Rams 3 weeks ago.
As you looked at Dante back there, Dandy, do you think they really have plans to move him into the lineup later in the year?
I really think what they did was really an insurance policy, and I think Dan really wanted to play for the Rams.
Ineligible downfield on the pass, number 64 offense, still 2nd down.
And I think one of the reasons, Fran, that they have that Danny, he's played, he is a veteran. They have a lot of confidence in Jeff Rutledge, but I know the last few years, Pat has had such a hard time staying healthy. I think they just want him there, and they probably worked out a pretty good deal for him.
It was Tom Rafferty downfield early for the Cowboys. 2nd down and 15. This is Dorsett. Look out. If he could surround the corner, he could have been gone. Leroy Irvin now in there playing for Pat Thomas. Made the stop defensively for the Rams.
Saw Tony give that just ever so slight head fake into the inside. I believe that was Brooks that just slightly froze for a moment. Then he just dipped out to the outside, picked up the first down, or maybe picked up another 5 or 6 yards, whatever it was.
Dorsett unofficially over 100 yards now at 101.
All right, here's the interesting call here, Dan. Inside their 16-yard line, 3rd and 9. The only way to get it is to throw it. I think they'll take the risk of throwing inside their 20 and throw the football.
Sure looks like they got Butch Johnson and Tony Hill flanked out on the same side.
3rd and 9 at the 16-yard line. Out of the shotgun. Flag is down. Butch Johnson is open and cannot hold on. Defensively, Leroy Irvin there again.
That was good defensive coverage, wasn't it? He stayed with him all the way across the field. The ball was well thrown, and he was just covered.
Holding will be declined, I would imagine, and they'll make a punt.
By Dallas. Irvin in there for Pat Thomas, but as we recall a year ago, he started.
68 offense, holding, penalty refused, 4th down.
Herb Scott holding for Dallas, but it was Leroy Irvin who started the 15th game of the season, in which LA blew the Cowboys away last year. He started in the playoff game also and had an interception in each of those 2 games. And here he is dropping back for the punt of Danny White, doing what he has done remarkably well.
And here's their best offensive weapon, Leroy Irvin, who last week 84 and 75-yard punt returns.
New NFL record, 207 yards. They got the return on. Good kick, Danny White. It's Irvin against the sideline. Flags are all over the place as Irvin struggles out to the 45-yard line on a 42-yard punt by Danny White.
What tremendous hustle that time by number 51 for the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Dickerson. I'm telling you, he was flanked on the outside, had 2 guys trying to block him. He made the initial shot out there, made him change directions. Great hustle downfield.
Penalty against Los Angeles. You know, we talked about Pat Haden, Jeff Rutledge, and Dan Pastorini. Well, Vince Ferragamo might become available. The Montreal Alouettes, of course, where he went up to this year. 2-11. We understand that he has been relegated to 3rd string status up there.
He didn't even make the traveling squad this week. They left him in Montreal.
Illegal block above the waist from the rear, number 37 on the run back.
That would be Ivory Sully of the Rams. So the Rams, with 9:53 remaining in the first half, will have a 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. They trail 19-7. Texas Stadium, as you once characterized Dandy so beautifully. How did you phrase that?
I don't remember.
It has a hole in the roof, we know that.
Yeah, I do know it has that. We want you to know Cowboy fans celebrated Halloween last Sunday. All tricks, no treats. They did, too.
Got 45-14 loss to San Francisco. 1st and 10, the Rams. The ball at their own 30-yard line. Haden remains the quarterback. Fires, and it's incomplete, intended for Willie Miller. Defensively, Michael Downs, the rookie from Rice. Another free agent rookie that starts in that secondary for Dallas.
Well, old Pat tried to fight the coverage there. As you look at old Harvey Martin and Randy White. They had double coverage on both outside receivers. And when they do that, Dandy, it's better to go to the tight end of the 2 running backs. He still tried to force it in.
Ryan Gifford, Fran Tarkenton, Don Meredith, Howard Cosell preparing for a World Series that will begin Tuesday night. Either Los Angeles or Montreal against the New York Yankees. And you'll see it on ABC.
Way to go, Frank.
Haden hangs it high.
He got him.
It is Drew Hill. Everson Walls got turned around, lost the ball, and Drew Hill awaited the ball.
And you got a penalty.
And we got a flag back at the line of scrimmage. And the Rams are saying it's against Dallas. Indeed it is. They scored a 45-yard pickup, in the Rams, who looked for a while like they were going to be blown away, will be threatening with a 1st and 10 at the Cowboys 25. They're down 19-7.
They just had a hard time getting started. The whole first quarter, they just couldn't move it going. They've got 9:38 to go here before the half.
Illegal use of the hands, 72 defense, penalty refused, 1st down.
And that was on Tutall. Do you reckon he might have used a head slap, or did he knock the back guy down coming out of the backfield? Could have been either one.
A little bit.
Big Ed Jones.
That pass shouldn't have been completed. That was not one of those passes that you're going to complete very often.
Everson Walls, you get the feeling, is going to be busy tonight. The Rams like to work against him. This time it's Willie Miller, as the Rams go over to their left side and work against Dennis Thurman. Pickup of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Those are the previous drives of the Rams.
Not a lot of plays in any of them.
Those 2 intercepts are the ones that really helped Dallas to get off to their
2 interceptions.
Big lead, yeah.
2nd and 4, the ball inside the 20-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. On a quick count, Cullen Bryant looks along the line of scrimmage, cannot find an opening. That's perhaps a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 3 as Everson Walls comes up from the corner and turns it back to the inside.
She's saying, come on, Cowboys.
Go, go, go.
Go, Cowboys.
You know, you see Everson Walls and Downs, the 2 rookies back there. And I think rookies have a tendency to either go all or nothing. They're either going to make an interception or they're going to get beat. As time goes on, I think they really learn to play the defensive position a little bit better.
And play the down and distance
Yeah.
in the situation of the game.
Pat Haden did not like either his personnel or the play that was sent in. He has called timeout. We have 8:28 remaining in the first half. And the Los Angeles Rams have a 3rd down and 3. And Pat will go to the sidelines and talk it over. Back at Texas Stadium, the Los Angeles Rams have a 3rd down and 3. Ball at the 17-yard line of the Cowboys. Haden this quarter, 3 of 4 for 86 yards.
It's a 2-down situation, I think, here, Giff. They could run it both times if he needed to go on 4th down.
Cullen Bryant now on the move, but he was moving laterally, and that play read beautifully as Cullen Bryant is dropped all the way back to the 23-yard line, and Bruce Thornton. And we were told that Bruce Thornton would play a great deal tonight because Harvey Martin, whom we have seen much of already, has a very sore thigh.
You know, they cut Bruce Thornton early in the year. He got waived. Nobody picked him up. Then they brought him back.
Frank Corral on the year, 9 of 11. Longest thus far of the year, 41 yards. This will be a 40-yard attempt with Nolan Cromwell holding.
Locked it.
A little finger on it, I do believe, and it does get through the uprights.
Now that was strange.
Very close to being blocked, but it goes to the uprights, and the Rams had moved to within 9. Ron Fellows came across for the Dallas Cowboys. It looked like he might have even got a finger on it, but it's through the uprights, and the Rams draw closer. Take a look at it again.
I really did think that somebody got a hand on it right there.
They did. Or did.
He either did that or he just barely touched it. It looked like it went right through his arms. It's going to ricochet into the inside. That's a good sign for the Rams, by the way. They need something breaking their way.
It was either Guy Brown, 59, or Ron Fellows who got a finger on that ball, but not enough to deflect it. And now, Frank Corral back out on the field, put the ball in play once again with 7:47 remaining in the half. James Jones will drop for Dallas. Again, Philadelphia, the only undefeated team in the NFL until today, fell to Minnesota. So Dallas, with a victory tonight, moved within 1 game of Philadelphia in the NFC Eastern Division, while the Rams need a win tonight to remain tied with San Francisco in the Western Division of the NFC. Good kick by Corral. Takes James Jones way to the back of the end zone, and he very wisely will stay there. So the Cowboys will have a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. The word we now have from the Cowboy bench is that Harvey Martin's thigh, the one that has been troubling him, the left thigh, has tightened up, and he has gone to the Cowboy dressing room to have that checked.
First word we had early in the week, Frank, he was not even supposed to play tonight. And I believe they didn't change his official status until maybe the day before yesterday.
And of course, Tony Dorsett was troubled with the flu all this past week. And we have not seen any signs of that tonight, as Dorsett is having a spectacular night. 1st and 10, the Cowboys at their own 20. Dorsett. And he can do more with a little opening than anyone you've ever seen. Quick pickup of 7 yards.
And can you imagine how good he'd have been tonight if he hadn't had been trouble with that flu?
That's right. That flu got lighter now. He can move faster.
Well, you know, the pressure's gone back to the Cowboy offense because LA's making a run at him here.
Raphael said, I'm not French.
Yeah.
I would just pronounce it the way he told me to pronounce it.
At the end.
Septic.
Septien,
not Septien, you said. 2nd and 3. Springs. Maybe a yard.
Hardly made any
3rd
friends
and
at all.
2. George Andrews, Carl Eckern defensively for the Rams, and the Rams are beginning to toughen. Not a bad night.
About a 10.8-yard rushing average to go along with his 5.7-yard rushing average coming into the game.
Well, that's history right there, and we'll see how it holds up tonight.
You know, good rushing.
Only lost one game in which Dorsett has gone over 100 yards, and he's over it tonight. 3rd down, long 1. And it could be that Tony Dorsett was not set for the full count, or it could be delay a game, because we see the 30-second clock has expired. In any event, the Cowboys once again will be backed up 5 yards, and instead of a 3rd down and very short yardage, as they did earlier in this quarter, they will have 3rd down and long yardage.
Delay of game, number 11 offense.
Well, they bring their wide receivers back in. Maybe they wanted to get into a situation where they could throw it anyway. They'll throw it now.
3rd down, almost 7 for the Cowboys as the specialty units move onto the field. For the Rams, they bring in Joe Harris. They bring in Ivory Sully. Joe Harris, number 51 for the Rams, has been tremendously effective this season against the pass. Cowboys, of course, have their 4 wide receivers. Out of the shotgun. White, man is wide open. And White drills it to Saldi. Saldi has the first down.
Big play by the quarterback, White. He needed to get his team a first down. He hung in there, picked out the right guy, got it to him.
You know, Fran, I feel a lot of times, or sometimes, you see a guy open like that, it's just got to be somebody on the defense just missed an assignment, because you're at least supposed to be a little bit closer to him than that. You never know who it is, and we don't know what the defenses are. That was a pretty good shot at him when he was on the ground there.
Saldi does so much for the Cowboys. He can play almost like a wide receiver.
He really does.
38-yard line, the Cowboys leading 19-10. 5:30 remaining in the 2nd quarter. White up on top. Tony Hill wide open. Look out.
Watch out.
Tony Hill's gone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
George Andrews missed the tackle, and Tony Hill goes 63 yards and a Dallas touchdown.
It's the first time they've seen Thrill Hill, as they call him down here, all year long. Thrill Hill.
He came back and played from his hamstring injury in San Francisco. Caught a touchdown pass there from Drew Pearson. But he is putting on a show in his first start tonight.
Well, they say you need big plays to win, Dandy, and we've seen a couple of big plays by Dorsett, Tony Hill. The Cowboys have reasserted themselves here.
Septien for the conversion. Big plays here in Dallas tonight. And Dallas has moved on out. They lead 26-10. 63-yard touchdown pass on a 3rd down situation.
All right, here it is, first down play. They fake the run to the line, which is a tendency on first down to run, of course. Gets good protection, not much rush. You watch Tony Hill here, made a good move, caught the ball, and then Rod Perry runs by him, misses the tackle. No way George Andrews is going to catch Thrill Hill.
Rod Perry actually knocked all the other defensive back.
Here's Perry on the coverage. Hill makes a good out move and beats Perry by more than Perry normally gets beat by.
Well, watch him knock Leroy Irvin off. They're both down, and now it's
Tony Hill is one of those wide receivers. You have to respect that deep move. He turned Rod Perry around with that little inside move. He thought he was going to do a post on him, and he broke it off. Septien pounds it. This is Drew Hill. In trouble. And Drew Hill Down,
Good coverage.
inside the 15. Anthony Dickinson finally putting the brakes to Hill. And the Rams, once again, will start deep in their own territory.
Well, Thrill Hill was sick this week, too.
This is this Anthony Dickinson I mentioned a while ago, and he's most every time on these punt coverage teams, he's one of the first ones down there. You're going to see several of them this time.
Is he the designated wedge buster?
He might be, but he's just a tough player. He's also good on the blocking side of it, too. The Rams, of course, know that. See two guys coming at him, but he somehow winds up around that ball.
Rams from their own 14-yard line. Trailing by 16 points in an explosive game. Walt Arnold in motion. They go back against the grain to Wendell Tyler, who somehow stays on his feet. And he struggles up close to a first down.
That was a good effort by Wendell.
I'm telling you, that was some impressive run.
I mentioned earlier, they do tease him. And one of the problems that Wendell had when he first came with the Rams is he didn't really get that timing down to hit these different holes with his off tackling the guards. And Haden jokingly says, you know, every time you give the ball to Wendell, it's an option play. You never know where he's going. And he does have a way of scattering it around down there, but he's picking up some yardage and getting a little more familiar, I guess, with their offensive system.
Danny White having just a little bit different night than he did last week. Against the 49ers, Danny 8 of 16, only 60 yards and a couple of interceptions.
Really did hurt him, too, Frank. Takes it very personally.
2nd down and 1. Cullen Bryant using his size and weight to get to a first down at the 25-yard line, where Randy White makes the stop. 4:27 remaining in the first half. Got to see the look at the cheerleading with Dandy, and of course highlights of Leonard Hearns fight, in case you might have missed it yesterday in Wide World of Sports. Howard Cosell not with us tonight. We told you before, getting set for the World Series, which will begin Tuesday night. And he will give us a report on the Leonard Hearns fight. Arnold in motion, and on first down, Haden under pressure. There's a flag down as Haden goes down at the 30-yard line. Ed Jones scrambling, forcing Haden out of there. That was not a flag. That was a pad that came off one of the Ram players.
Looked like one, though, didn't it?
Giff, that pass of Danny White's to Tony Hill was the longest completion of quarterback Danny White's young career.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was. He'll have even longer than that, I'm sure, before he finishes.
I was going to say, there'll be many more. 2nd and 5, Cullen Bryant. Back against the grain, and Cullen Bryant has another Ram first down out to the 37-yard line.
Well, the Ram offense, Dandy, is answering the challenge once again. They're coming back with 2 quick first downs.
And Bryant, in each of his starting years for the past 3 seasons, over 600 yards, but more importantly, he doesn't fumble. He's always there. He blocks for Wendell Tyler. Steadying influence for the Los Angeles Rams. Haden again feels the heat. Has to throw this one away. It was an attempted screen to Tyler, but that screen was well read, and particularly by number 53, Bob Bruning, who was right in the middle of it.
Old Tutall was out there also. John Dutton was the guy that applying the pressure on Pat. Pat had to get rid of it, threw it over their heads.
You know, when you do have a screen pass and the defensive end or the linebacker gets out there in the screen and reads it, there's just nothing to do but throw it out, because it's not going to work. You either pull them or you don't.
Safety valves on those things where you come back to the back sometimes if that screen doesn't work?
I didn't have it too often. I really did.
2nd down and 10. Cullen Bryant. Huge hole over the left side, and Cullen Bryant, however, upended by Benny Barnes and Dennis Thurman.
Dandy, I'm not so sure that Malavasi may not have been right. I'm seeing more holes in the running game tonight against the Cowboys than I have seen in years past. Tyler's had some pretty good room to run.
Gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
There's a crack in the flex.
Seconds ticking off here in the first half. 2:15, the clock is moving. Jeff Moore in motion. Tries to bring it back over the middle. Catches the ball, but Charlie Waters read it thoroughly. It'll be 4th down as we head to the 2-minute warning. Jeff Moore, a little short of first down yardage. 2 minutes remaining in the first half, and we'll be back with more action after this message from the National Football League. The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by Drew Pearson and the National Football League.
I love that sign. That's terrific. Now, Tom, you listen here now, boy. Don't you let your Cowboys grow up and be babies. Tonight they're not. They're playing pretty well.
I'd say so.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. It'll be 4th down for the Rams. Frank Corral is on the field. Ron Fellows has dropped for Dallas. Stationed somewhere around his 13-yard line. Frank Corral with a little under a 42-yard average. There is Fellows, a 7th-round draft pick, a rookie from Missouri. Fine punt by Corral. Takes Fellows all the way back to his 5-yard line. A flag is down. Fellows works it out to the 12-yard line on a 49-yard Frank Corral effort. But again, a flag is down. And I would presume if it's against the Cowboys, the Rams would want it to happen again.
Quite frankly, I was impressed with the arm of that official. He threw that flag about 30 yards in the air.
Oh, I'll tell you, Francis.
Good arms.
Amazing what amuses you. I like that. What do you think the call was?
It's against Dallas.
But I mean, was it a... He threw it way back up the field as if maybe he was pushing out of bounds or something like that. Let's see. That's the best thing to do.
We had a personal foul, number 32 on the run back. It was a post-possession foul, half the distance to the goal line.
What he did was slugging.
Yeah, he must have. My
This
God.
Thurman, he's about the smallest man on the field. Called for a personal foul.
Are we in Dallas, wherever home's a palace, and there's all over your address? No, we're in Irving.
Cowboys leading 26-10. They'll have a first down at their own 3-yard line. They have 2 timeouts remaining, or rather 3 timeouts remaining, but we would assume that they will not get Chansey down here sporting that 26-10 lead. Tony Dorsett, the single setback. And Tony Dorsett works it out over the 5-yard line for a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
If the Rams stop him on 2nd down, I would expect the Rams to call a timeout to try to preserve some time and get good field position on the anticipated punt.
And we have to flash back to a timeout that Pat Haden had to call because of a mix-up in the information he had from the bench or his personnel, and the Rams only have 2 timeouts. 2nd down, 7. Ron Springs in there now with Tony Dorsett. Dorsett again. Working against Rod Perry, and Perry takes Dorsett out of bounds up at the 26-yard line, stopping the clock with 1:02. 20-yard pickup, and Dorsett has really got it in gear tonight.
He really does, but he's getting some running room too. Pretty good blocking on the left side as you see Pat Donovan make a block. Big hole, then he does something.
Ron Springs, his fellow setback, with a nifty block.
Saw Cromwell miss the tackle, which is unusual because he's noted to be the most sure tackler they have tackler. He's very good tackling. Well, he can knock him out. Good move by Dorsett, I think, realizing that they need that time, so he did go ahead and make a move to the outside instead of trying to cut it back to the middle.
Now the Cowboys think they'll try to score. They're going to throw it.
They have 3 timeouts. Draw play. Springs.
You do all sorts of things off of those shotguns.
Springs with a quick 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Joe Harris defensively, and the Cowboys go with their 2-minute drill. Inside 1 minute remaining in the half. White in and out of the hands of Ron Springs. The clock is stopped with 40 seconds.
Twice tonight we've seen that with Springs, and that's highly unusual. That's one of the real big pluses that you hear when they talk about Ron Springs. He's a good runner, a good blocker, but they say, man, what a good pass receiver.
You're right. Leading receiver for the Cowboys coming into tonight. Twice he's let one get away.
That one would have been for very little yardage, but it would have picked up a little bit.
40 seconds remaining in the half. It's 3rd down and a long 6. Cowboys leading 26-10. And once again from the shotgun. Tony Dorsett adjusts steps in to pick up a Ram blitzer. Fired over the middle. It's Drew Pearson at midfield. 21-yard pickup. Kirk Collins defensively there for the Rams. And we have a timeout for the Cowboys. They'll have 2 timeouts remaining.
It's a good clear-out pattern that time by Doug Cosby, number 84, who just went really way down as fast as he could, cleared it out. Pearson came back across the middle. Maybe you'll be able to see both of them on this return.
Good point, Danny, because it's one of those little things that don't show up in the stats, but Cosby cleared it out. Pearson comes in underneath. They get a completion. There goes Pearson coming in.
Kirk Collins is the defender there, one of the extra defensive backs they send in these situations. And again, that's pretty good defensive coverage. He didn't just run away from it. Drew Pearson.
What an inspiration he has to be to receivers without great speed, without any notoriety coming out of college. Came up as a free agent. And they'll never forget Drew Pearson in Atlanta, will they, Fran?
We won't forget him in Minnesota either, because he caught the Hail Mary against us a few years ago that knocked us out of it.
And of course, last year in the final couple of minutes, 2 Danny White touchdown passes to knock Atlanta out of it. The big play man. Walter Payton and Billy Sims. We'll see them both tomorrow night as we move on to Pontiac and Silverdome, Detroit and Chicago.
And Billy Sims coming off of his finest outing of the year against a very tough Denver defense a week ago.
Over 180 yards. We understand that he has been troubled with a sore toe. But in all likelihood, we'll see him tomorrow night.
We'll get a preview of where they're going to play the Super Bowl. We'll scoop it out for them.
Yeah, man.
2 timeouts now for Dallas. 33 seconds on the halftime clock. The ball right at midfield, 1st and 10. Dorsett in a peck of trouble. And working his way out of it, and finally has to settle for a 6-yard loss as Joe Harris was there for the Rams.
Ran 40 and lost 6.
And Dallas will use another timeout. This time they'll have 2nd down and a little more than 15 yards.
I would think that they're thinking right now is they're trying to get one more good shot, try to get another 20, 30-yard pass to get it in the middle for this young fellow right here. Ravel stepped in.
Danny, going back and talking about Drew Pearson, I made a statement a year ago that I still stand by. I don't know of any receiver that's played in the last 20 years that's made as many big plays in very critical games as Drew Pearson.
That's probably a good point, too. Frank hit it, too. Here's a guy that should be an inspiration to a lot of guys out there who want to play pro ball. They have him listed at 183. I think they're stretching it a little bit. He's not very big. He's not slow, but, I mean, he doesn't have that blazing speed. He does have great concentration and the ability to run those routes that can get open. I guess that's what.
Free agent 73, and last week he threw his 3rd pass of his career, and in 3 attempts he has 3 touchdowns. Hit Tony Hill last week.
That's not a bad record.
Cowboys have the 3 wide receivers: Drew Pearson, Butch Johnson, and Tony Hill in the lineup. 2nd down, a little more than 15. The ball inside the Cowboy 45-yard line. 25 seconds now on the clock, and the Cowboys are down to their final timeout. White. So near and so far. Tony Hill doesn't hold on.
You know, he started off wrong that time. He almost was offside. Just barely caught himself. Talking about Tony Hill. Came back. The coaches on the Ram bench were hollering at the referee, why did he call an offside? Then he goes down there and hits him right in the numbers.
That was Lucius Smith on a safety blitz for the Rams. And now Danny White, along with the Dallas staff, will consider a 3rd down and 15. Once again, the shotgun. White. Beautiful shot, Drew Pearson, and that ball was perfectly thrown. Drew Pearson does not get out of bounds. The clock continuing to move.
He didn't get out?
And they let it go. The referee indicating that he did not get out of bounds to stop the clock. Danny White is complaining, but he is forced to use his final timeout.
Maybe my eyes are failing me, my old age, Danny, but I thought he was certainly out.
Well, I thought he was, too. What can I say?
Huh. That's a very valuable timeout that they are having to use up because the clock didn't stop. Let's watch it right here. He catches the ball. It's the best throw Danny White's made all night.
Oh, there.
He gets knocked out. That looks like out of bounds to me.
Well, I just don't understand all those things about when you touch. They've changed that thing an awful lot.
Well, Giff knows all the rules. Giff, tell me the rule on that.
This man does, and happened right in front of him. But he's not exercised at all. Now he's getting into it.
Yes, he was. Now I saw him get exercised, Giff.
All right,
You're not getting out of this one, Giff. I want to know how you call it.
Well, the only reason they could have said that he was in the grasp of a Ram defender, and they had blown the whistle.
Oh, come on.
But he wasn't in the grasp. He was pushed out. Let's watch. He was not in the grasp. He got hit by the guy.
Might have made a little mistake here. You watch Drew Pearson turn around, look back onto the field.
There's the hit. And he's out of bounds.
In the event, the clock is ticked down to 7 seconds. You see the official indicating continue to move the clock. Cowboys now are out of timeouts, and they have 7 seconds. This one almost has to be deep in the end zone.
Yep, he's got to throw this up and hope for an interference penalty or a tip or something.
Or a defensive foul. The half cannot end on a defensive foul.
There he goes.
And Nolan Cromwell solves the problem down at the 3-yard line with 1 second still on the clock.
Well, he threw it up to the end zone, Dandy. Everything was all right. The ball was there, but there was no receiver in the end zone.
Now, Roland, I mean, really, Nolan did run the best route of anybody.
He did. He was wide open.
He made a good, clean cut right for the corner.
He certainly was open.
Yeah, he stepped out of bounds, killed the clock.
Well, Landry always tells his quarterbacks to hit the open man, and he did.
Work on your percentages.
So the Rams will run out the time remaining here in the first half, which is 1 second. Ball at their own 2-yard line. Statistically, that will go as an interception for Danny White and an interception for Nolan Cromwell. 26-10, the Cowboys over the Rams. On a night of big plays from Texas Stadium.
How about
Irving, Texas?
How about the old quarterback fall down trick here, Dandy?
He does. It's going to be a safety.
Fall forward. Cullen Bryant.
Oh, you mean fall forward?
Given the chore of expiring time here in the first half, and that's exactly what he does. As the teams leave the field, we'll be back with halftime after this message and a word from our local station. Stay with us as Dandy checks out the cheerleaders. Next Saturday, regional college football coming your way. Nebraska versus Missouri. Nebraska scored 59-0 and 49-3 victories in their last 2 games. And, of course, a big game in the Big Ten, Minnesota versus Iowa. The rest of the schedule will be announced tomorrow, so check the listing for the game you'll see in your area. College football, NCAA college football coming your way next Saturday. The hole in Dandy's roof. They call this the house you built, Don.
No, I didn't have anything to do with this thing. No, nothing at all. But
well, I think the contribution you made in those first 9 years certainly did.
No, I just wound up having to pay for the Cotton Bowl. Doak built that. We paid for the Cotton Bowl, and they moved out of here. You know, I heard another reason why that hole was there, and it was that Clint and some of the folks felt that football is a game that should at least include the environments, the natural environment. So it's going to rain on the football team and keep everybody else nice and dry watching it. Maybe that's it. Either that or it's a good place to let all those balloons out when they let those balloons turn loose.
James Jones is down deep. Frank Corral will put the ball in play as we begin the second half. 26-10. It's the Cowboys over the Rams. Corral. High kick. Jones takes it at his 3. And a sprint to the sidelines will take Jones out of bounds up near the 30-yard line. Leroy Irvin there defensively for the Rams. Let's take a look at the stats at halftime. Dallas with 310 yards, 100 yards more than Los Angeles. 2 turnovers again. Key elements is Pat Haden had his first interception since the second game of the season, and Leroy Irvin is an injured Ram at the moment. Down at the sidelines.
Frank, as oftentimes happens here, you look at those stats. Looks like maybe, hopefully, just the breath knocked out of him. Nothing more serious than that. What happens a lot of times, I think, when a team gets off to such a bad start, and Fran, we were talking about during the halftime, the Rams just seem to get in that hole in the first quarter, and they couldn't get out of it. The first thing they know, they're 19 points down.
Right. Leroy Irvin appears to be all right. Standings once again for Dallas. They can move to within 1 game of Philadelphia. Philadelphia losing to Minnesota today. And of course, in the NFC West, the Los Angeles Rams will try and stay abreast of San Francisco in their race.
Niners may be for real after all.
They are indeed.
They do have some good young players out there. I love the idea they stuck all those young kids in that secondary and said that we're going with them. Man, they got some good athletes.
And they got him a good pass rusher in Fred Dean on the trade with San Diego a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Hacksaw's doing all right, too.
On 1st and 10, Ron Springs. Andrews takes Springs, but not until Springs gets out for a Dallas first down at the 42-yard line. Lucius Smith helping George Andrews.
I'm going to go back to Malavasi saying the flex isn't looking as good on Dallas as it has in the past, but I'll tell you, his run defense is nothing like what I used to see the Rams do against the run, because the Cowboys have had big gaping holes tonight to run into. The Rams have always been tough against the run, but not tonight.
First down for Dallas at their own 42-yard line. On Springs. Brings it back against the grain. Picks up a couple of yards before Jim Youngblood takes him. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Play was a little slow in developing. Youngblood had good hustle and coming back from the other side to get it, but you saw a little stutter step back in that backfield. They didn't quite get that one pulled off as quickly.
Capacity crowd here at Irving, Texas. Dallas fans.
Yeah, pretty. I love those little freckles. I like that.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah, that's nice.
I didn't know.
Dallas fans realize anytime these two teams get together, you're going to have some fireworks. Not terribly fond of one another. They have met in so many crucial games over the past few years. White in trouble. Flag is down. Springs has the ball and gets away at midfield. But again, keep in mind, a flag is down as Nolan Cromwell takes Springs out of bounds inside the Ram 30-yard line, and I have a feeling when that flag is down, we'll get the holding call against Dallas.
I think they know it too, Frank. They already started walking back. Danny White knew it.
So a 35-yard pickup with a special effort on the part of Ron Springs is nullified.
That flag was thrown by an official, Bobby Bolston. He's a former left-handed quarterback for Druid Hills High School, Atlanta, Georgia. He threw that with authority.
Nice throw, right?
Nice throw.
He hit the man that was holding.
Right on the numbers.
61 offense, holding, still 2nd down.
Jim Cooper, the right tackle for the Cowboys, detected holding.
That's Bobby Bolston, number 5 on your scorecard, number 1 in your hearts. Played defensive tackle for the Bear at Alabama.
2nd down, 18. Danny White immediately to the shotgun. Tony Dorsett. And Dorsett works his way back to the 40-yard line.
We talked about Drew Pearson a while ago. Now, this is another thing. 183 pounds, we said. Terrific block on Drew Pearson on this cutback. I maybe shouldn't have said that, but if we see it again, you'll see what I'm talking about, as they say. Good old Tony's limping a little bit.
Dandy, the shotgun, which we're going to talk a little bit about tomorrow night.
Right.
But they've run the ball 3 times off the shotgun. There's your. Watch, see if you can watch Drew's block for Dandy.
You're going to see him come in right to the outside there on Johnny Johnson, and that's a good block from those outside receivers. You get those guys blocking for you, those end runs are going to go.
Gain of 6. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Ball just over the 40-yard line of the Cowboys. Once again from the shotgun. White going deep for Johnson. And Nolan Cromwell goes up and comes down with it at the 15-yard line. Butch Johnson was there to put the tag on Nolan Cromwell, and the Rams will have the ball at their own 15-yard line.
Old Danny's got it going with old Nolan here.
Well, he really is running some pretty good routes, I guess, too. That ball is almost, you see Butch from the motion position, come down, make a move, get past Urban.
You know, if you're going to throw an interception, it's not a bad one to throw on 3rd down. He throws it deep down in the field. You can say it's as good as a punt and not much run back.
Pretty good reception there by Nolan, by the way.
Nolan Cromwell's 2nd interception of the night, and the Rams will have their first possession of the 2nd half. There's Nolan Cromwell. He has just turned the ball over to the Rams. His Ram teammates at their own 17-yard line, all pro last year in the Pro Bowl, led the NFC in interceptions. He has 2 on the night. Rams, their first possession. They need to get something happening. They stay with Haden. Walt Arnold in motion. Wendell Tyler. And Tyler hit hard, but not until he picks up another Ram first down out of the 28-yard line. Bob Bruning sliding out there from his middle linebacking position defensively for Dallas.
Ran that one.
He did. Once again on first down. It's 3 times happening on first down. They're giving the ball to Tyler. He's got 10 yards. That's a major effort against this defense.
It's a young man who was in an automobile accident a little over a year ago. They thought maybe he would never play again. He came back towards the end of last season. And this year he is really playing up to form. On 1st and 10, Haden. Man is wide open, and Haden is right on the target. It's Willie Miller. And Miller has another Ram first down. It's out to the 47-yard line on a 20-yard pickup. Once again, we remind you, Preston Denard, starting wide receiver, and Billy Waddy, the other starting wide receiver for the Rams, both out tonight with hamstring pulls. And Henry Childs has been in and out of the lineup. Henry Childs suffered a ankle injury of some sort early in the game. So the Rams hurting their offensive receiver corps.
It's a good point, Frank, because all these guys, Willie Miller and Hill, are good receivers there, and they're not their starting receivers. That's got that area of no timing.
On first down, Cullen Bryant. Bryant runs into big Ed Jones and still struggles into Dallas territory at the 49, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Dandy, wouldn't you expect, though, those outside receivers to challenge the cornerbacks of the Cowboys a little more than we've seen them challenge? When we saw him run Dennis Thurman off 15, 20 yards.
Well,
wide open.
I think that's would be ideal of what they're trying to do. I guess what you talked about earlier, they are playing a little bit more zone, but when you see them isolate, they've been open pretty good.
Yeah, they have.
2 rookies in a Dallas secondary, Everson Walls and Michael Downs. Arnold in motion. Haden under a lot of pressure, and this one is bobbled.
Unbelievable.
Comes down in the arms of Cullen Bryant, who's still on his feet. That ball was deflected. No one was around Cullen Bryant, and he'll have another Ram first down.
And I think it was a good thing for Haden that it was deflected, because that time, as Don had mentioned before, they did go to a double zone on the 2 outside receivers. I think he was trying to throw it deep. He'd have thrown it right into a lot of traffic. Watch him here. Goes back, fakes the run, and he's going to rear back and really haul.
Harvey Martin back in there. You see Randy White's the guy that hit that one looks like Jerome Barkham for a touchdown a week or so ago with the Jets. That's being in the right place at the right time.
Rams at the 41-yard line of the Cowboys. On a quick count. Haden. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Walt Arnold. He was covered by Bob Bruning.
But old Walt Arnold was open, and Haden went to the right receiver there. Again, they're doubling the outside guys that time, because the Cowboys have been hurt in the weeks past, and they're giving those cornerbacks some help out there. He went to Walt Arnold, which he should have done. Didn't get the ball to him, though.
Matt Haden, a little over 54% on the year. Gave everyone, at least Ram fans, most certainly, quite a scare last week when he was rolled up by Wilson Famuino at Atlanta. They thought he had suffered a broken leg. That was the first report, as a matter of fact. Obviously not. And he's leading the Rams tonight. 2nd down and 10. Bryant, and he was met hard by D.D. Lewis.
D.D. got him from the one side, and big guy Brown got him from the other. Man, they were ready for him that time.
Guy Brown, of course, replaced Mike Hickman, who suffered a broken arm in the opening game against Washington, and he's played some pretty good football for them, although Mike Hickman, we understand, could be ready to see some action tonight. 3rd down and 10. Jeff Moore joins Willie Miller and Drew Hill as wide receivers for the Rams. Pressure. Haden in trouble. Haden down at the 40-yard line. It was Ed Jones, like a sprinter, running down Haden. Harvey Martin pressured Pat Haden out of the pocket, and Jones ran him down.
He really did run him down, and Haden took a pretty hard hit right there, too. He takes a lot of hard hits, Dandy.
He took one that time.
He really did.
Jones is 6'9" and 272 pounds.
And, you know, could probably outrun Pat, and could outrun a lot of other quarterbacks around the league, too.
Including 2 of them who are up here.
Oh, definitely.
In our best days, he could outrun us.
Definitely.
Ron Fellows awaits the punt of Frank Corral. Corral angles it high, looking for the corner. He will not catch it. It'll be a touchback. And the Cowboys will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. 42-yard effort by Frank Corral. We'll be right back. 9:58 remaining in the 3rd. Cowgirls have a lot to cheer tonight. Interesting, the Cowboys opened their season with 4 straight wins. They dropped the last 2 to St. Louis. And then last week, the 49ers. The Rams opened their season. They dropped their first 2, and now they've won their last 4. First and 10, Dallas. From their own 20-yard line, following the touchback. Tony Dorsett gets it blocked by Springs and uses it. And he is taken by Cody Jones, the defensive right end, after a gain of a couple of yards. It'll be second down and 8. Tony Dorsett now 134 yards on 15 attempts.
Cody Jones did a good job that time. Basically the same technique I mentioned earlier in the game that Harvey Martin did. Didn't go down, kept his feet, strung that play out, came off at the last minute and made the tackle.
They've been running that play all night. That's just about the Rams' best effort against that slash of Dorsett off the left side. Second down and 8. Cowboys at their own 22. Ron Springs.
Good effort by
Springs is met at the 23 and surges forward to the 25-yard line.
Big Jim Cooper that time came down, had a good block on Reggie Dawson in the middle, a little trap block back in the middle. Let him squeeze through there for a little bit.
Third down and 5. Jay Saldi comes in, has a quick word with Danny White, bringing the play from the bench.
You know, Shaw, the quarterback that you mentioned earlier that's out with a knee surgery, filled in for Fitzgerald. And he's really a good center. And I think that little shift in that offensive line for the last couple of weeks has hurt him some. Same kind of thing on defense when Randy Hughes went down. Outstanding, strong safety. They did it again.
And again, the Cowboys do not get the playoff. That's the 3rd time tonight.
Well, I know from past experience that...
False start, 65 and 67 offense. False start.
Well, the clock had ticked down, but they are saying now false start.
Well, Tom's going to blame somebody for that. I guarantee you. You can say right now he's not going to.
Tell me he's not going to take the blame himself?
Well, no, he's not going to do that. It's going to be either the wiggle waggle over there, wiggle when it should have waggled, or something. You know, they've had 3 of these tonight, and the whole idea about sending the plays in through the signs was to eliminate that. I wonder what the stats are so far this year, where they've had more delays of the game than they did last year.
It's John Makovic, a first-year coach from Wake Forest, that stands next to Tom Landry. He indicates the play. But right now, Danny White is considering a 3rd down and 10. White going for Saldi. And Saldi was open. Man covering him. Back there with him. Number 37, that's Ivory Sully in there on the pass defense for the Rams. And the Rams should get the ball back in fairly decent field position. It is now 4th.
And you got Mr. Excitement, Leroy Irvin, back there, who can change the scoreboard lights very quickly.
He did what only 3 other players had ever done in this game last week with his 2 touchdowns. Jack Christensen and Rick Upchurch, Dick Christie, formerly the New York Titans. They all ran punts back twice in a given game. Irvin, of course, did it last week. He stays on his feet. Hit by Dickerson. And Irving, that is absolutely amazing.
I'll tell you
now starting to scuffle with a few of the Rams.
Joe Harris, number 51 for the Rams, got on top of Dickerson after he made that hit, and Dickerson was trying to get up. Harris wouldn't let him, and that's caused a little fisticuffs.
You literally could hear that all the way up here.
You could indeed. 51 on both teams. Harris and Dickerson.
I tell you, he just didn't want to make the fair catch.
That's Anthony Dickerson again, number 51 out of SMU. And Irvin took a little chance, I think. Really not fair catching right there. You see Dickerson gave him a pretty good hit. And now Joe Harris, you see right here, is trying to get on top of Dickerson. He said, you stay down there, boy.
So the Rams have good field position. Good effort. Leroy Irvin. The Rams will be at their own 48-yard line when we come back. Those were the learning years, 1960 to 1968. Put a lot of zippers on my man's body.
Yeah.
He's up there in the Ring of Honor with only 3 other Cowboys, Bob Lilly, Don Perkins, and Chuck Howland.
There's going to be another one this year.
First and 10, the Rams from their own 48-yard line. Haden going deep, Drew Hill. And there's a scuffle for it at the 5-yard line, incomplete. It was Everson Walls, this time staying with Drew Hill, and this is one of the questions that not only have Don and Fran and I have been discussing, but many of the Dallas Cowboy fans have been discussing the speed of this young man, the rookie from Grambling.
Well, I'll tell you right now, he had nothing to complain about. He's got Drew Hill all over the field by himself. He had him covered well, and then had the good sense to go in front of him and have a chance to make an interception.
That was pretty good coverage, that man-to-man coverage that we've been talking about, though, and they either going to, he went for the interception again there, which is, you know, I'm not faulting that, but that's just the tendency, I think, for a rookie.
2nd down and 10. Haden in trouble. Here comes Harvey Martin. Haden with a wide open field. He'll get the first down with the hook slide at the 40-yard line. I'm sure that the Rams staff and teammates hold their collective breaths every time Pat Haden takes off with the football.
Wendell Tyler made a good effort that time to block Guy Brown, and it looked there for a moment that Wendell got he got the worst end of that deal. He was the one that was slow getting up.
You know, when the quarterback starts running around like that, it scatters things out. There are a lot of interesting blind shots being delivered.
Game is settled to more of a defensive battle than we saw in the first half. 1st down and 10. Rams at the Cowboys 40. Whoa, Tyler, ball is jarred loose. And we get an indication that the Rams are there.
Good hit by Brunick.
I'd say.
61, the center, Rich Saul. Multiple Pro Bowler. 12-year veteran anchoring the middle of that offensive line. Comes up with the ball.
I don't know whether it had anything to do with it or not, but Wendell did take a pretty good hit the time before. You can see he's carrying the ball out in front a little bit. That's Guy Brown that really gave the good hit in there. And it was Brunick that had his hands on the ball.
Mike Gooman comes in, number 44. Wendell Tyler gets a breather. 2nd down and 7. Play action by Haden. Going deep is Drew Hill, the intended receiver, and there's a battle in the end zone. And if you believe Emerson Walls, his 6th interception of this year. He has 2 tonight.
That is amazing.
I'll tell you, I don't know about his speed or anything else, Giff, but that young man can play.
Got good hands, hasn't he?
Oh, he gets himself in position. He makes interceptions. He makes big plays. You got to have big plays.
Wasn't that bad a throw, was it?
It really wasn't, but it was double coverage on him again. They had a double zone on the receiver, and Walls went with him all the way. He had safety help here, as you see, coming over. And Michael Downs, and then Walls just takes the ball away from Drew Hill.
Played it great, inside and out. Hayden's 3rd interception of the night, and the 2nd interception from the young rookie from Grambling. From our reverse angle camera, you'll see the replay. Emerson Walls watching that ball right into his hands. This young man, the free agent from Grambling, now has 6 interceptions on the season. This only the 7th game, still in the 3rd quarter. And you have to keep in mind that Nolan Cromwell led the NFC last year with 8 interceptions. Just to put it into perspective. An overview, if you will.
I like those overviews, backdrops and things.
1st down and 10. Brown Springs. Hit initially by Larry Brooks, and then it all closes down after a pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Interesting game. It was wide open in the first half. Cowboys getting off to a big start. Rams looked like they were going to be blown away, and we have 6:08 now remaining in the 3rd quarter, and not even a threat.
Well, neither team has had real good field position in the second half. They've had to go a long way, and these defenses are hard to go the length of the field against.
2nd and 7. Danny White has it blocked.
Oh,
I believe it was Cody Jones.
He had him wide open. Doug Cosby was the intended receiver, and he was a good 10 yards open right down the middle.
There's Cody Jones, 6'5", 255-pounder. Gives the Rams much more strength on that weak side than Fred Dreyer offered for so many years.
A lot bigger.
To take nothing away from Fred Dreyer, one of the great players.
But I'm sure Cody Jones is still learning how to play defensive end. He's been an inside pass rusher, defensive tackle most of his professional life, and it's an adjustment to play out there.
3rd down and 7. Danny White, 2 of his last 8 passes. That's all his completions. Out of the shotgun. Danny White hangs it up. Drew Pearson got all entangled over there with Lucius Smith, and now a flag is down.
I would guess they'd called against Lucius Smith, but both of them look like they were pushing. Let's see what he does.
Can't interfere with that right for that offensive play. Well, it goes both ways,
I guess. He called it on old
I
Lucius.
think the contact was beyond the 5-yard limit.
Yep. I think it was a good call.
And the Cowboys will pick up the first down, and the penalty will be assessed out to the 28-yard line.
Illegal contact, 23 defense, first down.
Illegal contact over the 5 yards. You can't
Danny,
hit that
you
man
understand
after
these
5 yards.
offensive pass or defensive pass interference well. Look at this.
Certainly do. Exactly what I said.
That was it.
Yeah.
Cannot make that contact 5 yards downfield or after 5 yards.
Well, he made it.
First and 10, Dallas. Danny White.
That's a lateral. That's a lateral. That is a lateral.
It goes out of bounds off the hands of Tony Dorsett, and that ball should be brought back to that point.
Yep. Should be about the 18-yard line or 19. All right, you'll see it from the line here. Danny White going back. He's just getting a little bit of trouble here from Youngblood, but as you can see, he throws it backwards. That is a lateral.
You know, that's the first time we've really called Jack Youngblood's name all night, and he's usually the guy we're talking about all night long.
And he's off to a great year. He's leading the Rams, has 5 sacks already, but he is really being handled tonight by Jim Cooper.
Big Coop.
Second down and 19. The ball marked at the 19-yard line. Pearson out to the right, and Tony Hill goes out to the left, and it looks as though Tony Hill will be in single coverage. That could mean Ram blitz. And the Dallas Cowboys keep it on the ground. Dorsett, who is a big threat anytime he handles the football, this time is held to a 6-yard pickup.
That was an interesting defense to play with 2nd and 20 or whatever it is, because they did put everybody up at the line of scrimmage, and the outside receivers had single coverage.
He's had some pretty good days against the Rams. That, of course, Dallas record at 160 yards.
4 out of 7 times he's been over 100 yards against them. That ain't bad.
Third down, long yardage. Right into the shotgun. Rams have their 5 defensive backs deployed. Danny White. And is open. And tremendous shot by Johnny Johnson going against the Cowboys. Drew Pearson, he really took a pop. Both of them up, however.
Pearson really saw this one coming, and maybe look at this big defensive drop. There's the 4 line. Well, they're not really linebackers, but that first line of play. Doubling back in, and the receiver's deep. You see Pearson come across. He sees Johnson.
And he gets a hit on Johnson.
And he says, yeah, and I think that's a smart move. He's not going to catch that ball. Johnson was coming after him.
That's how a wide receiver will live to be around another day.
Yes.
It's one of the secrets we didn't mention about Pearson when we were talking about. He's smart.
Is that.
A cagey veteran. Danny White saw no pressure, took an extra step. That gives his hunting team a chance to get under the ball, and Leroy Irvin takes it back to the 46-yard line. The Rams, once again, will have good field position.
Doug Cosby, the tight end down there that time to close out Irvin.
All right, here's Benny Barnes. As you see there, he's the guy that can go down the field right from the snap of the ball. The rest of them have to stay in. He's getting double teamed. He's knocked out of bounds. They're still after him.
They're blocking him out of bounds.
All the way to the stands.
They might get him in the parking lot going home.
Lucius Smith says again.
So we still have no score here in the second half. The Cowboys over the Rams 26-10, but LA has fine field position once again. A bit of an understatement if you compare tonight's play by the Cowboys to that of their play a week ago against the 49ers. First and 10, the Rams. The ball at their own 46-yard line. Wendell Tyler.
Good tackle.
Wendell Tyler is taken on a good open field tackle by Dennis Thurman after a pickup of 8.5 to 9 yards.
He came through that line pretty quickly, too, didn't he? That Wendell's got the speed as we were referring to earlier. Looks like an injured Ram down there. That's Rich Saul.
12-year veteran we spoke of a moment ago. 5-time Pro Bowler for the Rams. Slow getting up.
He took a good shot.
There he is. And a steady performer since becoming a starter in 1975. Getting help from the field. A couple of fine runners here tonight in Wendell Tyler and, of course, Tony Dorsett. Tomorrow night, we'll watch Walter Payton and hopefully Billy Sims. We understand he has a sore toe. He's coming off the best game of his young career.
Yeah, but
Over 180 yards was it last week against Denver?
tomorrow night.
A great defensive team in Denver.
Tomorrow night, we'll be in Detroit City. Letters that they write, they say it's fine.
About 1.5 yards for the Rams for the first. Ball right at the 45-yard line of the Cowboys, and
Utah.
Wendell Tyler, I believe, held short of the first down.
Dutton, as a matter of fact.
They'll mark it right at the 45.
Big John.
Third down, a little more than 1 yard to go.
And this time the Rams going to bring their big boys in there and their short yardage offense. Extra tight end, which really is an extra guard for them.
The way the Rams have deployed their lineup without Rich Saul, Doug Smith started at left guard, has moved to center. Kent Hill is at left guard, and Doug France is at left tackle.
I haven't seen this one since Mount Vernon.
And I believe that Cullen Bryant was held short of the first down. Yes, he was. They'll mark it almost 1 yard short, and it will be 4th down. And an interesting decision time for Daisy, and they're going to go.
They got to go, and they will go.
Well, there was not much give in that line, though, was there?
Nope.
You know, that's 2 times in a row they've held them in this situation. Here they get a third crack at it.
Interesting, you know, about this game of football. Late in December, the Rams might look back to this particular play.
Now, Kent Hill's coming out of the game. That's an interesting substitution.
It's Saul went back in.
Rich Saul back in.
Okay. Doug Smith moved to guard.
Tyler. And Tyler gets the first down. Good,
like
hard running by Tyler.
Like the old single wing with all that interference out there in front of him.
Full house backfield.
Somebody's going to start doing that off of this spread or this shotgun formation, I think, before the year's over. They're going to get him a runner back in there. There's Drew Pearson. We saw him go head on with Johnny Johnson a while ago. Drew said, why'd I do that?
A little headache.
2:32. Clock is moving here in the third quarter. Haden fires a shot intended for Hill, in and out of his hands.
Well, he had him wide open. He just threw the ball behind him.
That time, the rookie from Grambling, Walls, who has had a pair of interceptions tonight, was laying way off of Drew Hill.
The cornerbacks for Dallas are playing soft. They're hard to beat deep, as we've seen him, you know, intercept one, almost intercept another one deep, but they've got some room in front of them.
Now Pat Haden has thrown 4 straight incompletions. He's back once again. They continue to work on the rookie. Drew Hill, and he comes down with it.
Got him another one.
Ram touchdown.
That wasn't the rookie
this time. He was working against Steve Wilson over on the left side, and Wilson was stride for stride, but that was just a superb catch by Drew Hill.
Good effort. I think that one of the things that could have helped that time, the Rams got that ball off very quickly on a quick count. Dallas was sending in a lot of substitutions. Here he goes. Drew Hill, let's just watch it.
You know, he's only 5'9". Watch him go up.
But look at him gain that step or so on Steve Wilson. Steve goes up, and Hill just went up a little bit higher, wanted it a little bit more.
And the Rams are definitely back in this ball game. 2:20 remaining in the third quarter. Frank Corral on for the conversion. Flag goes down as Corral puts it through the uprights. Discussion with our referee Gene Barth.
Nice catch.
Hill.
Yeah. Nice catch.
He's doing a lot of things for these Rams. He's filling in tonight for a pair of injured wide receivers, Billy Waddy and Preston Denard. Both of them troubled with hamstrings.
It's a big 10-yard penalty they're going against the Rams here. That makes it a little tougher.
The wing back on the right side, hooked with the right arm hold, will retry the kick.
Dean Barth.
All right, so Frank Corral is backed up. This will be a 30-yard attempt. Big extra point.
You bet. And 10 back now. They need this one. They got it.
And the Rams now trail 26-17. We have 2:20 remaining in the third quarter. Big strike by Pat Haden. Let's look at it once again. Receiver Drew Hill.
Well, he had single coverage outside. Steve Wilson, reserve cornerback, had come in the pass situation. Drew Hill will go up higher than Wilson, although he is shorter. He had a little more spring in his legs, and that got him the reception. You watch the second, and there's no zone there, really. That's just pretty much man-to-man. He threw to the right guy because he had less help over here than he did on the other side.
I tell you, that man-to-man coverage looks like the old days when they used to do a lot of it. These two teams still, however, in given situations, will go to man-for-man coverage.
Here's a reverse angle. He's going to catch it again, Daddy. I'll bet you.
I believe he does, too.
Yeah.
Same deal.
You're all right, Drew.
Short didn't make any difference that time, did it?
He went after it. Went up there and got it. I still think it's a defensive mix-up. I don't see how they'd leave him back there like that. Got a little jump on Mr. Wilson.
Another big kick by Corral, and it takes Jones to the back of the end zone once again. Twice now, James Jones has not been able to return the kickoff of Frank Corral, and the Cowboys will open play on this possession at their 20-yard line.
You know, as we've been setting up here, it's been looking like the Dallas had this game well under control, but it's now down to 9 points. Still in the third quarter, 2:15 left. It's a ball game, boys.
Dallas hasn't done much this second half.
Much of it has been a part of the Rams' defense, shutting down principally Tony Dorsett.
And also, Dallas's best field position in the third quarter has been on the 30-yard line. They started the 3, the 30, the 20, the 20. It's not great field position.
Drew Pearson, we understand, suffered abrasion on his right eyelid. We don't know whether he'll be back or not. We saw him holding ice to it a while ago, and Rich Johnson is in there now with Tony Hill. And Danny White is back. Man moved wide open is Tony Hill. And he gave Leroy Irvin a lesson.
Got a little flag.
He drove him to the inside, turned him around, and now a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
And it is holding, and it'll bring that play back.
That play will not be forgotten.
What? It's kind of what happened to the Rams in the first quarter. Anytime they try to get something going, they'd have a backfire. Well, there's turnovers. Dallas seems to be faced with the penalties.
It's a 10-yard penalty as we listen to it.
61 offense, holding, still first down.
But really, Cooper, maybe that's why we're not hearing so much about Jack Youngblood.
Could be.
But Giff, if you add on the completion, which took it to the 35, that's really a 25-yard penalty against him. That's what it cost him.
So it'll be first down and 20. The Cowboys now back at their own 10-yard line. And as we've suggested, Cowboys not breathing so comfortably. Nope. The lead cut to 9. Here's Dorsett. And Dorsett again stopped after a pickup of perhaps 3. Drew Pearson, we told you, he had a finger in the eye, suffered an abrasion of the right eye. He's holding an ice pack up there now to keep whatever swelling that might develop down. Second down and 16. Ball at the 14-yard line of the Cowboys.
It's a time to be careful with that football. They don't want to give LA any more momentum than they've already got.
Hill split left. Butch Johnson right. Draw play, Dorsett.
Good defensive play that time by Youngblood.
Jack Youngblood. Back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. It'll be third down. Long yardage for Dallas.
And you notice Landry up to now has been careful with it back here. He's given it to Tony D twice. I would think, Dandy, that the man would throw it this time, would he?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have been too surprised to see him throw it the time before, though, Fran, to tell you the truth, because they were back into that. They had the penalty. They needed 20 yards for the first down. The play that they ran is one they had some success on earlier tonight. Twice, as a matter of fact. With a little trap up in the middle, Tony broke for a big gainer.
Out of the shotgun. Third down, 16. More and more teams, like the 3-4, going to the shotgun. White's in trouble. And Jay Saldi comes down with the ball. Gain of a couple. It'll be 4th down, far short, of course, of the 1st down, and another flag is down.
This is going to be a personal foul penalty. I don't know which way, though.
Youngblood was very upset with the referee that he didn't blow the whistle. He felt that they had Danny White
sacked.
Yeah.
Gene Barth talking it over. We'll hear in a moment.
If this is against the Rams, it will be a big break for the Cowboys.
It's getting a little sluggish out there. Things are not very crisp.
We've got offsetting personal fouls. 51 defense, personal foul, 83 offense, continuous action. The down counts is 4th down.
Personal foul working against Joe Harris of the Rams. And Doug Donnelly, we've been told, for the Cowboys. I do not believe, however, Doug was in the game.
I'll tell you, boys, the Cowboy offense has been shut down the second half. And
so on 4th down, we'll see Danny White. And once again, the Rams should have that good field position, and they have instant lightning back there once again in Leroy Irvin. Irvin settling in at his 43-yard line. Danny White, I can't believe this with that much yardage. And what a brilliant play by Danny White. He had a 4th down and 13, realized it, stopped, kicked the ball, and now they're going to probably bring it back.
I think he went over the line.
Flags are down.
The ball anyway.
I think he did too.
Danny White, if you put it on the table, he might steal it. He noticed that earlier when he held it for a long count before hitting it. There has been no designated rusher on Danny White all night.
And that's a bad mistake because you've always got to put
illegal receiver downfield is the call.
You've got to keep containment on the punter. You've got to send a person in from each side to make sure he kicks it. This is a heady play.
We saw him earlier in the game, and you can see he is getting no pressure at all. And what he probably slipped his mind for just a moment, it was 4th and 13. That's quite a move there.
Say that running a risk of getting yourself hurt over there with that foot up in the air.
Yep.
And now we have a full-scale discussion down at the 25-yard line.
Hario Piranda that was putting the pressure on him. Remember Hario Piranda?
The kicker advanced beyond the line of scrimmage. Therefore, the foul for ineligibles downfield is disregarded. Disregard the foul. 1st down at the other end.
How about that? They made a mistake.
We'll do that now. What?
Disregard the foul. Kicker advanced beyond the line of scrimmage.
Well, explain that to me then.
Well, I think you can punt the ball anytime you want to. I mean, you don't have to, it's not for the line of scrimmage or whatever it is.
Over the line.
But it's hard to punt it 60 yards from anywhere you went to. Great move by Danny White. Tom Landry say, what's happening out there? I bet. Give me that clipboard.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Malavasi would probably be asking what happened too.
I don't think I've ever seen it happen as long as I've watched football.
Hang around Monday night, you'll see it happen.
I've been hanging around Monday night for 12 years. Still haven't seen it happen.
You've just seen it first. 1st and 10, the Rams. Their own 22-yard line. Here's Wendell Tyler. Wendell Tyler is really running, making those strong cuts against the grain.
Now that's a play we've seen several times tonight too. They're coming over that right side. That's Big Ed Jones and Dutton's side, and right at Guy Brown.
And there it is, the end of the 3rd quarter. The score 26-17. The Cowboys over the Rams. The Rams battling back. We'll be back for the 4th quarter after this from our local stations. You won't see this very often. I don't think I've ever seen it, but that's why they call it football. You can actually kick the ball. This happened a few moments ago from anywhere in the field, anytime you wish to. Danny White, this time over the line of scrimmage. He was ruled as an eligible man downfield, which he obviously wasn't. He was a runner, and he decided to kick.
That was a mistake, I think, that the referees, and they caught themselves right quickly. It's worked out that way. You can do it on a kickoff. They kick you the ball, you can just kick it right back to them. I've seen a lot of times when I wanted them to do that, and they wouldn't do it.
Rams have a 1st down and 10 as we begin the 4th quarter. They trail by 9. They move from their own 36. Wendell Tyler started to cut back, and he saw a host of white jerseys, and he gets to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
The total yards kind of even up, fellas. 332, 352.
Rams defense has really tightened the screws down.
Time of possession's even. The only difference really, of course, is 9 points, and then 1 extra turnover that LA has.
But for the Rams, they have just not been able to move the ball upfield. They've had good field position on several of their possessions. Quick count by Pat Haden on 2nd and 9. Deflected in the air. Big Ed Jones.
We almost saw
6'9".
another one of those that doesn't happen very often. Had Pat Haden been able to go out there and catch that, that would have been a completed pass. You ever caught your own?
But he couldn't have thrown it again.
No.
Again, a reminder, next Saturday, college football coming your way. Those are the games that we know at this moment. The complete schedule will be announced tomorrow, so check your local listing for the time of the game you'll see in your area. Missouri, by the way, was ranked 8th nationally prior to yesterday's loss, but then I guess Texas was right up there too until yesterday. They got walloped by Arkansas. 3rd down and 9.
Wow. Wow.
Wendell Tyler.
I don't know. Tell me about that, Dandy.
Well, they were trying to trick them.
It was a surprise call, 3rd and 9. It would have surprised everybody if they'd have made 9 yards on that little inside trap.
That will certainly control the pass rush.
Yes, it was. I don't know.
Frank Corral on. James Jones dropping for the Cowboys. And the Rams need a victory tonight if they are to stay even with the 49ers, and we haven't been able to say that for quite a few years. And of course, the Cowboys with a victory would move to within 1 of the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles beaten today for the first time in the season by Minnesota. This is Jones. And Jones moves through the heavy traffic to the 25-yard line. 9-yard return of a 46-yard Frank Corral punt. So the Cowboys trot back out onto the field. Their offense, like the Rams, slowed here in the 2nd half. We'll be back.
Intercept, intercept, punt, punt, punt. That's Dallas this last 5 drives.
Sounds like 1960.
That's about it. That was ugly.
No, you weren't playing in 1960.
Oh, that's right. It's okay.
Eddie LeBaron will think it's ugly.
Well, that's right.
1st down and 10. Cowboys, their own 25-yard line. Tony Dorsett, look. Dorsett, fine tackle. Nolan Cromwell. This time Nolan did not miss catching Dorsett on the cutback.
Unbelievable move by Dorsett.
It was.
Should have been a 5-yard loss. He had 2 people back right in his lap, and he gets rid of both of them and gets a gain.
He had a good block on the line of scrimmage by Springs, who came in. I believe he hit Fanning. Then the rest of it, you're right. When he moved out to the outside, he made some nice moves, picked up. That was a pretty hard 3 or 4 yards he picked up, as a matter of fact.
Getting 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7, and Tony Dorsett is moving rapidly towards his personal best. He has 148 yards. Back into the eye. Danny White.
Good
Great catch. Beautiful catch. Butch Johnson going up and coming down with the ball for a Dallas 1st down.
Unbelievable catch. Rod Perry was right on him. He read the play the entire way. Danny White threw a strike, but Johnson makes some play. Watch it here. Watch it here. You watch the coverage of Rod Perry. He doesn't go for the deep fake at all. He stays right on him. He could not cover him any better than that. Little push by Butch. Watch this. Goes up and gets it. That's some kind of catch.
You can understand the controversy and Butch Johnson's desire to be the starter. He's a great receiver.
Yes, he is.
And so is Tony Hill. Tony Hill with 120 receptions the last 2 years. And Butch Johnson has played great football in relief of Tony Hill during the preseason and the start of this season. Dorsett. Oh, and he goes down. I just like to watch him run.
Yeah, it is fun.
You know, we've all seen him a lot. But to me, guys, he looks even faster tonight than I think I've ever seen him. I mean, he just like he's at another speed from everybody else out there.
What he does is when they mark the ball, you look down, he's picked up 4 yards. And he does it so quickly. I mentioned his personal best, That was 206 yards that Tony Dorsett had against Philadelphia. Second down and 6. Dorsett once again. This time Nolan Cromwell slides up from the safety spot, and Dorsett now will lose the 4 yards that he gained on the prior play.
On a local television show, Tom Landry was on this week, and he calls Nolan Cromwell the best free safety in football. They have a way of becoming the best when you're getting ready to play them, but I think a lot of people would certainly agree that he's among the best. He certainly covers a lot of ground back there.
I don't think there's much argument about that anymore. He really is.
Cromwell made the big play, and now Danny White has to consider a 3rd down and 10.
I don't think he'll run off the shotgun this time, Danny. I think he's going to throw that seam.
A lot of time, but no receiver. This time he finds Tony Hill short of the 1st down in Ram territory at the 48-yard line, and a late flag comes down.
They're going to call a personal foul against the Rams, and that will be an interesting thing to see over.
Well, it's the first spark that you've really heard from the crowd this second half either. They're just...
And that completion was short of the 1st down. Leroy Irvin is the Ram who is totally exercised out there.
Well, it's a critical penalty. It was short of a 1st down by 3 or 4 yards. Forced Dallas to punt. Now they're going to have a 1st down on the 34-yard line. Very big call by that official.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 23 defense, 1st down.
Call is against Lucius Smith.
Let's watch it. All right, here's Tony Hill. He's going to receive the ball. 47 is Leroy Irvin. Let's watch here. There's the reception. There's the tackle.
And short of the 1st down.
Short of the 1st down.
Oh,
that's
my
it.
gosh.
Good call.
That what?
On 1st and 10. Danny White back once again. Good defensive play. Rod Perry was right there covering Tony Hill. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
He put the forearm up under his chin, and that is a definite no-no.
And a very costly one for the Rams.
Absolutely. Not a smart play.
You do not see the best players in this game making those kind of mistakes. 34-yard line, 2nd and 10. Dorsett. And the Ram defense closes down. Tony Hill to a 2-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
It's an interesting thing, Giff, that
Tony Dorsett, of course.
Rams have come up into a 9-man front a couple of times, and the Cowboys have not chosen to throw to the outside receivers deep against it. Somewhere, I'm sure Mr. Landry will do just that, and they'll get a big play.
3 wide receivers in. The speedster, the rookie from Ohio State, Doug Donnelly, is in there, number 83, and he can really fly. Great receiver at Ohio State.
They're about to run out of time again.
They're going to have to hurry. They get it off. Danny White. And Dorsett taking his eyes off the ball. Joe Harris was with him, but it was a pass that should have been caught for the 1st down. 4th down. And kind of a marginal spot for the place kicker. Raphael Septien. His longest on the year, and he's kicked him in tonight with 15 out of 16. His longest of the year, 47 yards. He's already hit tonight from 40 yards out. This will be a 49-yard attempt. That would match his career best of a year ago against Oakland. Long count, looking for the penalty, and Septien off to the right. And Septien took quite a pounding, and I believe a flag is down. Yes,
they hit him pretty good.
Well, I'd say the Rams are making some very critical mistakes that are not very smart, and they're beating themselves right here.
Rams, of course, complaining that Septien was acting just a bit, but he was collided with. That kicker is so vulnerable once he is hanging up in the air, and that's why the harshness of the rule that accompanies running into the kicker.
He had the distance on the kick, too, just a little wide.
Personal foul, running into the kicker, number 20 defense. First down.
Johnny Johnson. He's saying no. And we'll take a look at it again. Charlie Waters, the holder. That kicker at this point is really vulnerable. He tried to hold him up with Johnny Johnson, but you cannot even touch that man.
It was a... He didn't try too hard to stay up.
First and 10, 27-yard line of the Rams. Dorsett. Another flag is down as Dorsett gets inside the 25-yard line.
Raining yellow flags.
It's been sloppy the last half.
Holding against Dallas. And the Cowboys will be backed up. 9:17 remaining in the game. Once again, reminding you, we'll be in the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan for the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears, Walter Payton and Billy Sims tomorrow night.
Holding, 84 offense, still first down.
With the 2 personal foul penalties the Rams have, not only are they not giving themselves a chance to get the ball and score themselves, but the clock's running down.
Doug Cosby holding for the Cowboys. Mention again, Howard Cosell not with us tonight. Getting ready for the World Series, which will begin on Tuesday night. The Yankees hosting either Montreal or Los Angeles. I got that right this time.
You got it down.
I got it.
Big Dodger in the sky.
If they ever finish that series off up in Montreal. Today it was rained out, scheduled for tomorrow afternoon at 1. First down and 20. Look out, Dorsett.
Watch out. Good break.
Flag is down.
Oh, he's going to call a clip
on Tony Hill. I believe it was Tony Hill.
Danny White sure took a lick back at his sideline from Big Joe Harris.
They had some pressure on him then.
He was lucky to get that ball off.
And he got it to the right guy, though, didn't he?
Clip against Dallas.
When you give him an open field like that, it's trouble. Danny White's going to make a great play to get the ball off. He is getting a lot of heat from a lot of people.
There's the blitzing linebacker. That's Joe Harris who came in there. Nobody picked him up.
Yeah, he did. Danny got him.
Personal foul, clipping, number 80 offense, still first down.
Tony Hill clipping. That would have given the Cowboys a first and goal to go at the 3-yard line. Now, the down remains the same. First down and 13, but the ball is back at the Rams 30. Doug Donnelly, rookie second-round draft pick from Ohio State, stays in the ball game.
The question is, can we have a play without a flag? We've had 3 straight flags.
10 seconds to go. 9 on the...
They'll have to call timeout. The time would have expired, and the Cowboys would have lost another 5 yards.
I'm telling you, that's ragged.
4th time tonight. The Cowboys have been in trouble in not being able to get the play off in the allotted 30 seconds. And Danny White will go over and talk to, I'm sure, well, he does never show it, but he might, at this point, a livid Tom Landry. At this moment, Tony Dorsett is breaking to his right. Tony Hill is directing traffic, and Tony Hill steps right into Lucius Smith, the clip, and they bring it back. Cowboys would have had a first down and goal to go at the 3-yard line. Pictures supplied rather niftily by our Monday night crew and our director tonight, Jim Jeanette, Chet Forty, our regular director, along with Howard, preparing himself for the World Series. Drew Pearce is still having a problem with that eye, in which we were told somebody stuck a finger. Now he's chuckling.
Probably asking, can you see me?
First down and 13. They're showing Danny White going for Donnelly, the speedster, and incomplete. Lucius Smith was stride for stride with Doug Donnelly, the rookie second-round draft pick from Ohio State.
Like Donnelly just knocked it out of Smith's hand. Smith had an interception there for a moment, it appeared.
Well, you know, an offensive receiver, when he sees it's going to be an interception, he should become a defender and try to break up the interception, which he must have done here. We'll look at it on the replay, Dandy.
A little bit, little push and shove. There you go. He has it, and Donnelly reaches in there and says, go away, boy.
So it'll be second down and 13. 8:58 remaining in the game.
Now, Giff, if he'd had both feet down when he had the ball in his hands, it would have been an interception, right?
Well, he cannot be juggling it, though. Second and 13. Danny White out of the shotgun.
Don't tell me it wasn't.
That was not the 30-second clock this time.
Illegal snap, 64 center. He moved the ball and stopped.
Well, I think Tom Rafferty must have picked that ball up before he snapped it. That is something you don't get called very often because most centers now in the shotgun do it. I think we might see a lot more.
All right, he moves the ball and stops, he says. That's it, yep.
Yep.
He's sure right. What a good eye, Mr. Referee. Gene Barth.
20th penalty flag tonight. Again, we reminded you early in the game that Tom Rafferty is ordinarily the right guard. However, John Fitzgerald, the regular center, was hurt early in the season. Robert Shaw had knee surgery this past week. Second down and 18. Let's pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
ACRG TV 9, Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Drew Pearson back in the game. Second down and 18. Danny White drops the ball, comes up with it. And Danny White will go down and another flag.
That's going to be face mask, I guess.
Reggie Doss sacked Danny White. And Danny White stays on the artificial surface.
Cannot believe that.
He's hurt. And there is a deep sigh of relief by the partisan crowd here at Texas Stadium as Danny White gets to his feet.
Little groggy.
Well, Dandy, we're going to talk about that shotgun tomorrow night.
Yeah,
that's one of the things we're going to talk about is that snap. Today, Philadelphia, I wish they didn't have it.
Grasping the face mask, defense, it's a first down.
On a third down, let's look at the end zone replay here of the snap. You'll see it's going to be a low snap. And the bad thing about when the snap is low and bad, it puts Danny White in a very vulnerable situation. He's going to get out of rhythm, out of sync, and almost an injury. Today, Ron Jaworski on a third down had a bad snap. He couldn't recover his own fumble. Minnesota did. A big turnover in Philadelphia's favor, and also their defeat.
You saw Reggie Doss get that hand in there, the face mask of Danny White. Automatic first down accompanies the penalty, and Dallas has a first down. They're at the Rams' 43-yard line. Tony Dorsett. Dorsett turns back into a crowd. Peeks out a yard. It'll be second down and 9. Johnny Johnson turned Dorsett back into Jack Youngblood.
I got to get the feet in there, looking over there in a big grab bag and pulling out a play and running it every now and then. They don't seem to have really anything particularly in mind and not try to set up too much.
Fran has touched on something. The clock is ticking down.
It really is, and Dandy, you're right.
20 and it's moving.
It's a sloppily played third and fourth quarter by both teams. Penalties, misplays. And
Dallas will have to hurry. They're going to be run down that 30-second clock.
4, 3,
they won't get it off.
1. He calls timeout.
He calls timeout.
Unbelievable.
But I don't know whether he got the timeout before the flag went down or not.
Well, you know,
flag down.
They had a substitution coming on with 10 seconds on the 30-second clock left. They had a substitution coming off the sideline onto the field.
I just can't believe that.
Delay a game, number 11 offense, still second down.
Danny didn't get the timeout called quickly enough.
I bet you their little messenger system changes.
You better believe as the season grows a little older, the kinks will come out of this system. Dallas has gone through their customary midseason slump a little early this year, having lost to the 49ers last week, and then the week prior to that to St. Louis. They usually go through kind of a dog day period, but it's a little early this year, and I'm sure Tom is not unhappy with these delay of game penalties. We'll be back in a moment. So Dallas has compounded their error of commission by Danny White's calling for a timeout. The timeout, when you call for it, has to be accepted. And also, Dallas picked up a 5-yard penalty for delay of game.
If he called for a timeout, though, before the 30-second clock runs down, I see, all right, I'm going to give you a timeout. But how can he give him a timeout and penalize him 5 yards, too? I don't understand.
The crowd is murmuring now as Dallas once again is slow coming out of the huddle. They'll get this play off, however. Second down and 14. Wide open. Drew Pearson. Had a crump. And was the ball pulled loose before the whistle had blown? I do not believe so.
Cromwell is hurt. He is hurt.
He is hurt. He had the ball and just dropped it.
Nolan Cromwell, the injured Ram. First down was picked up by Drew Pearson, but more concern right now as Nolan Cromwell is holding his right knee. Watch number 21.
There he is. Pearson will come down. Danny White steps up, hits him on a curl-in pattern. Beats his man. There's Cromwell coming into the picture. He's trying to strip the ball out of his hands. He gets it and then gets hit right.
Did he ever? Number 87, Jay Saldy. He got him right in the ribs, it looked like to me. Stomach of the ribs.
It hurt because he had the ball in his hand and he just popped out.
Cromwell now up on his feet, flexing the knee. We'll get a report for you, but he does appear to be not seriously injured. And the Cowboys have a first down at the 32-yard line of the Rams. 7:48 remaining in the game. Cowboys 26, the Rams 17.
Seems like we've been on the same spot of the field for the last 20 minutes.
It has been just about that long. Dorsett. And Dorsett goes down in the arms of Mike Fanning. In at perhaps 3 for Tony. Marked at the 29. Call it second down and 8. Dallas has had the ball now for almost 6 minutes, and they have not moved, covered much yardage.
Right around that 30, Giff.
Cromwell back in the game.
Everybody's up on the line. Why don't they go for the big play?
2, 1.
Just did get this play off. Dorsett struggling over to the left side, and he coughs up the football. The Rams are saying they have it, and they do indeed.
What a sloppy second half.
After all of that.
Rams come up with the ball. I believe it was Johnny Johnson.
Well, it was an interesting play. They gave it to the 9-man line. Danny White went to an audible, and the audible was a run. Here it is. It's going to be a run to Tony Dorsett, and everybody's up. You see Cromwell, who's a safety man, is 1 yard deep in the backfield. Ball pops out. Johnny Johnson falls on it. Rams finally get it, and we're going to go the other way for a while.
And they have 6 minutes and 39 seconds to try and erase a 26-17 lead of the Cowboys. Rams have the football. The Dallas Cowboys had the football for some 6 or 7 minutes. They were unable to move it. And now the Rams, down 26-17, have a first and 10. The ball at their own 27. Walt Arnold in motion. Haden going deep. Willie Miller, intended receiver, and defensively, Dennis Thurman was back there. He was getting help from the free safety, the rookie Michael Downs from Rice.
I tell you, Pat Haden threw that ball a long way. Here he is. He's throwing. He's got to do this. He's got to get the ball down. There's nothing wrong with this call. He's got to throw it up. Dennis Thurman's got good coverage, but his man almost has a chance to catch the ball.
I tell you, Dennis Thurman on a second effort stuck his left hand in there and knocked that one away.
Willie Miller had positioned his body nicely. Willie Miller would have had to run through him to catch the ball. Second down and 10. Haden, Arnold, the tight end, who replaced Henry Childs early in the game.
My goodness.
Arnold's
My goodness.
struggling forward. He has the first down. Great second effort. He was in the arms of Everson Walls, then Michael Downs, and still Arnold comes up with his second reception of the season.
Well, you watch this from the end zone. Haden goes back in the pocket. He'll step up. He'll spot Arnold. Gets up inside the pocket. And watch this. There's one hit. He breaks that second hit. Third, 4. Trying to steal the ball from him.
And to the air goes Pat Haden. Intended for Arnold, once again incomplete.
Pat liked the first one so much, he thought Danny he'd come back and do it again.
Yeah, I guess he did. Frank mentioned earlier that Mike Hegman, the linebacker that was a starter a year ago, has been activated tonight.
Mike Hegman. He took over Tom Henderson last year at that very critical strong side linebacking position for the Cowboys. Broke his arm against the Redskins. He's back tonight. Second down 10. Cullen Bryant. Cullen Bryant is bowling up close to the 45-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6. John Dutton there defensively for Dallas. Final seconds ticking off the clock for the Los Angeles Rams. 5:30 and it's moving.
And a very critical 3rd down situation for the Rams. The most critical play of the night for them. If they're going to have any chance of winning, they got to pick this up.
Rams down by 9. Go on a quick count.
Oh my goodness.
Harvey Martin. And then John Dutton. Harvey Martin appears to be hurt.
His leg again. He's had a lot of problems with those.
The loss is all the way back to the 28-yard line. Loss of 16 yards, and Harvey Martin again has come into tonight's game. We were told he might not even play because of a very tender thigh.
Well, the Rams are 0 for 10 as you look at Harvey Martin. They're 0 for 10 on 3rd down conversions. Hard to run much of an offense with that type of 3rd down conversion.
Well, Harvey was the guy that really caused that sack in the beginning. He was the one that put the initial pressure on it. In fact, spun away from him. Dutton came in and put the finishing touches on it, but they lost a lot of yardage on that time.
16-yard loss on that sack. More concerned with the treatment that Harvey Martin is getting now.
A little pressure up in the middle. You see them, they're always pulling on Randy White. Here comes Dutton, 78. He spins around, and then here comes in Harvey. You don't really see anything other than him just landing on his knee or his hips. He's had soreness all the way, and that's Dutton that came in and got Haden.
And Haden took another very hard hit. He takes as many hard hits as any quarterback I see. Had 2 of them tonight. But he got up and Harvey didn't.
Don't forget we have school tomorrow, young lady. Harvey Martin getting to his feet, and he'll receive an ovation. He's led these Cowboys, have been a co-leader in quarterback sacks since he came up as a 3rd-round pick in '73. For the Rams, it's 4th down. They'll have to punt. 5:14 remaining in the game. And they're down by 9 points. Frank Corral to do the punting for the Rams, and James Jones the receiving for the Dallas Cowboys. Jones at his 25-yard line. End over end kick, but it does take a Ram bounce. It continues to do so. Down inside the 15. As the Rams special team just lets it roll. So Dallas will have a 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line as we look once again at Harvey Martin. We'll try and get a report up to you as to what seems to be troubling Harvey, and looks to me as if they're looking more at his knee than his thigh.
You know, it's hard to tell that. You know, the game that a couple of week ago in Philadelphia and Atlanta, I thought was really a terrifically good football game, particularly defensively. Not a lot of action, not a lot of moving up and down that field.
But well played.
Yeah,
Really was.
Cowboys now will work on the clock. Tony Dorsett over the left side where they have been running all night long.
Fran, this telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It was intended for the private use of our audience. Did you know that?
Yeah, but any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is
Prohibited.
right.
Now that's hard to beat right
Yeah,
there.
that's pretty good.
Not so sure anyone would want to use the second half again.
All right.
Really deteriorated. Sloppy play, both teams.
Dandy and
down
I
and 8.
produced that segment.
White.
Hands on the
Johnson
shoulder.
was the Dallas Cowboy intended receiver. Lucius Smith right with him stride for stride, getting help also from Leroy Irvin.
Saw Danny White get up slowly there. He got a little bump from Youngblood, among others.
You know, some people might have thought that was a chance he played, Dandy, but again, they had 9 men on the line, only 2 defensive backs from the corners. That it's a safe pass, and he could have gotten a big play out of it.
I think that's the most difficult pass to break up as a defender, if you can really throw that one right on the break in there. You get that one in there, hardly anything they can do about it.
Big play for the Ram defense, and they have all their defenders right at the line of scrimmage. Everybody down and 8.
I like that. Come at him
Full
quickly.
blitz.
Yep,
There he goes. Anyway, reads it perfectly and gets the ball to Tony Hill. That, of course, the danger of the blitz. If you can pick it up, you are guaranteed one-on-one coverage. Hill was one-on-one with Rod Perry and wide open.
One of the reasons I like to see a lot of pressure on the spread formation like that is everything has to go really well. You can't have a low snap. It's got to really be there. You don't have much time to look at, but one guy got to get that ball off. He did it exceptionally well that time, but I like to see him put a lot of pressure on the shotgun defense. I think that's one of the disadvantages that you have when you're back in there, because you've got to make that decision real quick.
First down and 10, the Cowboys, their own 28-yard line. We're inside 4 minutes. The Cowboy 9-point lead, looking better. Flags fly, as you saw the encroachment.
68 offense, false start.
Herbert Scott pulling the Ram defensive unit offside.
Not a very good penalty at this stage of the game. When you're trying to run down the clock, that stops the clock and costs your team 5 yards at the same time. And they got it down to 3:21. In pretty good shape to run it down.
Well, you're told that Harvey Martin has sustained a bruised right calf. The word is that he also could return. Loss of 5, first down 15. Dallas has now been penalized 13 times for 100 yards. Los Angeles 10 times for 78. That makes for a very early morning for you people in the East. .3:21 remaining. Fight. Again, Ron Springs. Very difficult chance, but one we have seen him collect before.
You know, how many times do you find people criticize people when they sit on a lead? Cannot criticize Tom Landry for sitting on this lead, because he's throwing the ball with 3:16 left, down on his own, what, 20-yard line? 23?
23-yard line, where now the Cowboys have a second down and 15. Rams bring in their special pass defense unit, and we get the third receiver for Dallas.
Let's throw it again.
Shotgun once again.
He's got him open the way down the field. He can't get it to him.
Danny White delivers the ball in the general direction of Drew Pearson as he was being pursued out of bounds by Cody Jones.
Billy Joe Dupree broke about 20 yards open way down the field, but poor old Danny was being chased by Cody Jones, and no way for him to get it off to him.
Hot breath breathing down his neck from Cody Jones, who's 6'5" and 255 pounds.
In the Rams' quest to catch up in the fourth quarter, they're finding that they cannot score without the ball, because they have only had the ball 3 minutes and 19 seconds during the fourth quarter.
Well, Danny White, not a sizzling night thus far. Effective, perhaps. He's 13 of 31 for 224 yards. A couple of interceptions. And, of course, the long touchdown pass to Tony Hill. 3rd and 15. White, Drew Pearson wide open. A Cowboy first down. Out to the 47-yard line, and how cool can you be? Danny White, under tremendous pressure, stepped up, spotted Pearson, as he has done, and as Roger Staubach has done over the years. And it's another Dallas first down.
Was a really cool. I think I saw Danny even change hands with the ball. Let's see when he gets the pressure. He's got the ball in his right hand. Gets some pressure, comes back up. They grab for that right hand. You saw him let that right hand go loose. Come back, get the ball, throw. That was a nice move.
You pointed out, Don, many times what a fine athlete Danny White is.
He really is, Frank. He can do so many things so well. Good baseballer, played good basketball.
Good ping pong player, too.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, fine punter. On first down. Cowboys stay in the air. Oh, Doug Cosby. Cosby.
Why would he just try to run over somebody like that when he could make a little move?
I wondered the same thing.
He's upset with himself that he didn't get it into the end zone.
Yeah, well, as the only man between him and the goal line, you'd have thought he'd have made a move on him. Let's watch him here. He's going to catch it, break wide open.
Hard to find a better throw than that, too, Frank.
Yep,
that was right on the money. Cromwell was in fairly good condition. Why he would try to do that, I don't know.
Cosby is 6'6", 226 pounds, taking on a 5'9", 185-pound Rod Perry. Another Cowboy first down. They're at the 24-yard line of the Rams. We have 2 minutes remaining in the game. 2 minutes remaining in the game from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Dallas Cowboys with a commanding 9-point lead, and they have a first down and 10. The ball at the 24-yard line of the Rams.
And a point once again, Giff. Tom Landry's not set on this lead. If you watch Tony Dorsett there, he's coming out throwing. 2 minutes left.
He's trying to get something going this second half.
Yep.
Fran, they just haven't done anything the second half, and I think he knows that those Cowboys have got to play better, or more consistently they've done the last 4 weeks.
Dorsett was over 100 yards early in the second quarter. Thus far, as we move into the final 2 minutes, he has 159 yards. And of course, one of them a 44-yard touchdown effort. Ron Springs, left side. Rams will be tugging and pulling on that ball, trying to get it out of the arms of the ball carrier, looking for the turnover. Rams have 3 timeouts, and the Cowboys, not by choice, are down to 1 timeout. The Rams stop the clock with one of their timeouts. To remind you, this ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Datsun, who invites you to see all the exciting new 1982 Datsun cars and trucks at your Datsun dealer today, and by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. Remind you once again, tomorrow night, we're leaving right after the game, we'll be at Detroit with the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. And over the years, Fran, you played so long in that Central Division, those two teams, no matter what the record, they really get it on.
Well, they played a great game late last year against each other. The game was won in the last play of the first play of overtime on a kickoff return by Dave Williams of Chicago. It's a great rivalry, and we'll have a great game tomorrow night between those two teams.
Second down and 8. Danny White coming back onto the field. I'll tell you also, the executive director, executive producer of ABC Sports is Ruin Arledge. ABC's NFL Football Sunday Night Special, produced by Bob Goodrich. Our director tonight, Jim Jeanette, doing a fine job. Chuck Forty, who is traveling with Howard Cosell, preparing for World Series coverage. Technical director Joe Chabot, associate director Bob Rosberger, technical manager Coach Coltrane, our unit manager Phil Hance. Danny White brings the Cowboys up on a second down and 8. Dorsett, quick moves. Down he goes in the arms of Jack Youngblood at the line of scrimmage. Mike Fanning also there. Our assistant to our producer today, Bobby Cowan, John McGinnis, others assisting Joan Champy, Patty Ryan, and Sal Johnson. Statistician and research man tonight, Mike Swanson. Spotter, Steve Bazika.
I pretty well got him. You did a good job. That was a nice lineup. Did that well, Frank.
There's old Gil Brandt. We hadn't seen him all night.
What an organization, though, when you think about it. It's all been together from the very beginning. You, of course, would know it the best, Don. Clint Murchison with his Cowboys. He lets Tex Schramm, Gil Brandt, Tom Landry run the operation.
Well,
they've been 15 straight years in the playoffs. They've been in 5 Super Bowls. They won a couple. I think one year, I think 74, they were out of the playoffs.
Well, Dandy got them started off just right.
Well, what can I tell you?
What was your record that first year, Dandy?
0-11-1. Jim Myers, the guy you see right back there, has been a big, big help to Tom these last few years. He's, I think, has a new title as assistant head coach, Texas A&M head coach, as is Gene Stallings, as a matter of fact, 2 coaches on that staff. They do have a good staff. In a way, Danny Reeves, new head coach at Denver, I think is only you say we miss him, but there's an adjustment because he did an awful lot for Dallas in their